our first aircraft is an F-18 at the 90. Stand clear to port catwalk and fire line. Stand by to recover aircraft. This is a drill. Through the ages, been bravely given life. Will always make its way. The morning will still fall on this song for freedom. The battle rages on. And the girl in the corner said, boy, I wanna warn you, turn into a ballroom bitch. Ballroom bitch.
My name's Richie Honori from the Multi-Platinum Duca Suite. We all can agree to help our vets. Music changes the world. We're musicians bounded together, making a difference for our vets. With the Veterans First Initiative, you can make that difference too. Go to vetsinneed.org, vetsinneed.org. Thank you.
This is Ronald Luxembourg, appreciative of the time. Tune in on June the 7th to be able to contribute and donate whatever you can in dedication to these veterans. This is Ronald Luxembourg thanking you.
Good evening, everybody. This is Caesar with a Battle Rhythm podcast. I am here with my flickering light, as always, my good companion. So here we go. We are live and in color. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a show for you. And let me tell you that if you didn't catch our live yesterday on X Spaces, you missed out, because we had the VFW National Commander, Al Liphart, the real deal Liphart. And we also had Richie Honori, who is the founder of People for New America and also for Veterans First Initiative. He is the founder of that organization. You guys know exactly why that is. And we also had the Medal of Honor recipient, Doc Ballard. Let me tell you, that man was so excited to actually be spending some time with Richie and I, because Richie actually came on and talked to us for quite a while. He spent the rest of the afternoon. The good thing is that he's out in California, so he had plenty of time. For us here in the central, in Texas, we're 2 hours ahead. So by the time 9 o'clock or 4 o'clock came around, or his time, I was already pooped. I was retired. I was like, I'm ready to go to bed, and here we go. And I believe I ended up having to go do some other admin stuff, because I still have a real job at the end of the day, so I had to do some of that. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you guys that this Saturday coming up, we are going to, this is the exact reason why we are doing this show, because we are promoting, and I am promoting the lights out of this thing, and I'm so excited at the fact that this Saturday, June 7th, we are going to do our telethon that we have been talking about the entire time. And we have been talking about this, for the last month and a half. You guys have been watching my show, been watching this. And we are days away from the first annual Veterans First Initiative telethon. And this thing, you don't want to miss it. It's going to start in Toronto for 2 hours. Then we're going to go to Chicago for another 2 hours. And then we're going to go to Phoenix for another 2 hours. And we're going to close this with LA. LA is going to have some top of the line musical entertainment. It's going to be a fun-filled day worth of stuff that we have prepared for you guys. We are excited that we're able to bring this to you, because let me tell you, the heart of servitude for Richie and Honori and his entire band of I don't want to say misfits, but his entire band of people and his entire team is it's just awesome to see that they're willing to give of themselves for them to become to help others. And we already have our very, very first social media comment from X. Troy Hampton: can't express enough gratitude for those who have served. This moment matters. Yes, sir, it does. And we can all help by doing this and helping by doing all this stuff. And the one way we can all help to do that is to actually donate time And if you are able to do it financially, that is a great thing to do. And I am going to have this on the very, very bottom of our thing. It's givebutter.com/vets in need. That is where you can donate. I will be having this the entire time. So please, if you're able, join. Like Doc Ballard said yesterday, if you can go to Starbucks for $10, you can donate to help a veteran in need that needs food, clothing, shelter, whatever. You can help out. Whatever we fundraise, that's going to those veterans. So please make sure that you follow the link and you scan the code, and everything is on there. So there's going to be a lot of acts coming up. The Sweet Band, a multi-platinum award-winning band of the Ballroom Blitz, and so many other hits. It's just awesome. So we're going to do that. So here we go. You guys already know how I start this show, and I'm so happy and excited to tell you guys that I have a very, very special guest that has, in my opinion, has taken the world by storm. Okay, because to be in the limelight for 24 hours and for many, many years, this person that has done it with grace and with poise. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is this week's interview of the week.
The Battle Ribbon Podcast interview of the week is brought to you by Joanna Hairabedian. Stop by the street center this week for all of your Harley Davidson needs.
All right, this segment is brought to us by Texoma Harley Davidson. Thank you, Kenny, for your support with this. And yes, tomorrow, Texoma Harley Davidson is going to have the one and only Adam Sandoval, who is doing a convoy for veterans, who is coming through Texoma tomorrow. And they are going to be having some of their awesome deals tomorrow. And there's, a matter of fact, a buddy of mine, Ken, he actually ended up bringing that belt today. He actually bought a road glide, a 2025 road glide, and I'm a little jealous because of 2025, and I wanted one, and he is the one and only that actually was able to get that. So congratulations, Ken, on your purchase of the 2025 road glide that you have, and I'm sure you can't wait to come ride with us. So I'm excited for you. So here we go. But ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I have the one, the only Joanna, I knew I was going to do it. Hairabedian.
Very close. Hairabedian.
I'm so sorry. I practiced it for several times and I still jacked it up. But she is, ladies and gentlemen, she is the Miss America for 2019 through 2021. Her tenure has passed. However, you never really stopped being a Miss America. Is that correct?
Well, yes, that's the title, and I will forever have that title. But my platform and what I do will never stop.
Right.
That's right.
And so the reason why you and I were I won't say partnered up or teamed up or whatnot is because through a conversation, through other mutual friends that we have, and we were able to come together. And let me tell you that this lady changed our whole schedule for her to be on the show today. So thank you so much for doing this. And I'm just excited the fact that you said, you know what, for anything for the veterans, because you are definitely one of servitude, one that has been able to do a lot of things with not only veteran organizations but other organizations because of your tenure, right?
Well, and I love our vets, and I just want to thank everyone for your service, first of all, for your sacrifice, for what you've done for our country. I know at times that has not been appreciated, but I just want to let you know, got my heart, and I honor each and every one of you who has served our country, and for your family members who have served our country. Thank you.
Well, the people, Dominic, he's already saying this is powerful. Watch him with a full heart. So yes, thank you, Dominic. And remember, I keep saying this all the time, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's the way to give back is with time and servitude, and just have a humble heart to doing some of the things you do. don't do it for yourself, do it for everybody else, because the rewards that you get, it's a lot more satisfying getting the rewards because you're helping others that you have. If you're able to help, please do so. That's what that's what it's about. And that's what even I believe we had a conversation earlier today where it was, the Bible, God tells us that we're supposed to be His servants, servants to others, even to your spouse. You're supposed to be servants and things of that nature. So it's with a servant heart. If you believe or not believe, that's not my deal. What I'm saying is that it's a much more rewarding experience where you actually are able to give back if you're able to do so. I don't know if you agree with what I just said, but
I agree. It's so true, Caesar, and that's what I loved about you when we had our conversation before the show, because we just met today. But I love your heart and your spirit, and there is nothing more rewarding to me than seeing a face that is just so touched by what was given to them. Because part of giving is also receiving, and so for them to be able to receive what I've given, what you've given, whatever it is, sometimes it's just a smile. Sometimes. Right. Just don't know what's going on, and especially for our veterans, like you said earlier, a lot of our veterans, they suffer with PTSD, nightmares and torments. And, so if I can help bring a smile to someone, hey, I love that.
Your smile is contagious. So when what I mean, like, be it that if you smile at somebody, you don't know what they're going through, because a lot of people suffer in silence. Right. So PTSD is a silent killer, because a lot of people don't know that people have PTSD. Right. I mean, from you looking at me, you probably don't even realize that I suffer from PTSD.
No, I would never know. No.
Because again, PTSD is in silent. And I think I'm not trying to get all nurture versus nature. I'm just saying that in my observation, in my eyes, my perception, I'm pretty sure that you could see this, is that us as in a gender role, men are, or males are taught at a young age that, what, you hold everything inside and you just keep on marching on, and you're the strong, you're the rock, you're the one that you're supposed to be the strong person in there. And a lot of people believe that, and even us, as veterans, as soldiers, as Marines, all that, we're trained to keep pushing, and but they don't train us as to when to stop. Right? When do we stop? And does it go? Does it come? Does it it comes back with us, and people don't realize that, and it's powerful, like you said. So again, silent killer. So now that I pretty much gave my HIPAA disclosure here. How did you hear about People for New American Veterans First initiative?
Well, I heard it through my friend Darlene, and she's actually the one, and I know Darlene, so
I love her to death.
Yes, I love her. She's amazing. So she's actually the one that approached me through our mutual friend, Terry Perez. And we're involved in health initiatives and things like that together. And so we have a team. And so when she said, hey, would you be willing to support our vets? There's they're having a fundraiser on Saturday. Would you be willing to support it? I know you're Ms. America 2019 through 21, and I think it'd be a great match. I'm like, oh, absolutely. So like you said, I did rearrange my whole schedule just so that I could be here tonight and support our vets and encourage people to support our vets. And, like you said, Caesar, $10. If we have 1,000 people that that donate $10, it's $1,000, whatever you can do, but that is going to change a life. And so that's how I found out about this program and what you're doing for the vets and everything, and your passion for the vets, because you are a vet as well. So,
well, thank you. Full disclosure, I literally, we were in contact this morning. I believe it was like 9 o'clock Central, and I'm like, hey, my guest that I had on has been ill for the last several days, and I hadn't heard from her. And I was supposed to have a therapist on today because we were supposed to talk about, I joke, I was like, we're supposed to talk about our feelings, and so she texted me, she's like, hey, I'm so sorry, I have been laid out for the last 4 days. I said, you know what, it kind of just worked out, and the fact that you were able to come on and do this, it was just awesome. It was just great. The fact that that you're so willing and able to do that, and it just means a lot to people watching, to the vets that are watching, because when people do take the time to thank them, and I always say this PSA, and people don't realize, a lot of people don't know the history of it, and I say it every Memorial Day. I said, because people will always say on Memorial Day, hey, thanks for your service. No. Do not do it. Do not do it. And I tell you why, because a lot of us that ended up going to, whichever era, World War II, Vietnam, all this stuff, a lot of us came back with one less friend or one less brother. And so when you tell us that really hurts us a lot more than you think it does. Right? We have our day. It's called Veterans Day. Once we pass, then yes, it'll be Memorial Day, because our people will remember us. And Armed Forces Day is for those people that are still in uniform. So remember those things. So never ever say on Memorial Day, hey, thanks for your service. We will be polite, say thank you, but it's not about me. It's about my brother and my sister that didn't come home, and those are the ones that are that are here. So I remember that, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but it does do a lot of things to it. I just had a conversation with a very good close friend of mine that is part of my post here in the VFW in Sherman, and his grandfather passed away last week, and he told me the story, and he was kind of teary eyed, and this man was in the Navy, and he's like look, he's like, I don't think it would have been hurt any less. I mean, I know that people pass, but the worst part is that he was I talked to him the day before, and then the next morning he was gone. But the worst part is that he passed away on Memorial Day.
Oh.
And so that was the worst part for him, because he's like, you know what, my niece a few days earlier, he was like, hey, well, are we going to celebrate Grandpa for you? Because he was I believe he was a World War II veteran. He's like, how are we going to celebrate Grandpa, because he's a veteran? And he told her again, like what I just said. It's like, no, he is not. He's still living. We don't do that. We used to do that, and he passed away that morning on Memorial Day. So it was, he was, you could definitely tell that it hurt him. And it was hard. And I wanted to cry for him, because it broke me. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's not cool. You have a close friend that is hurting,
you're crying with them.
Exactly. And I embraced him and gave him a big hug. I was like, dude, if you need anything, please let me know. And he's like, no, man. He's like, I appreciate you, and thank you for doing that. I was like, hey, on a lighter note, check out the show tonight, because I have Miss America coming in from 2019. He's like, what? I was like, yeah. So he's probably watching. So if he is, he's probably gonna kill me later.
Yeah, thanks for ratting me out.
Yeah, you're ratting me out. But the good thing is that people don't know who I'm talking about. So
right, exactly. You didn't destiny there.
Yeah. Because we were in a very dark corner, not that the corner's black, but we're like just taking it easy, and it was just fun. But yeah, he means a lot to our community, and of course, so it's very hard. Look at this. Limitless Oracle saying that the energy is different. It's a purpose. And you're right. Everybody, your background right now is just exactly what it is. That is your aura. I mean, all I'm seeing is an aura, and that aura is just all of servitude and just all kinds of stuff. It's awesome.
Well, I got to credit my husband, Dr. David, because he found this background, and everybody loves this background. And I'm like, hey, honey, can you send me the background? I want to try it tonight and see how people respond. He's like,
oh, is that right?
Yeah. So yes, that's where I got. So I'm just giving credit to my hubby.
Oh, there you go. See, and please educate me on this, because I don't know the whole, like, the rules about, like, Miss well, obviously the Mrs., right, the Mrs. America, but Miss what I was reading, it says you can be single, you can be married, you divorced, and widowed, right? Is that to participate?
Yes. So you have different pageants, and so you have Miss America, MISS. So that's for 18 to 25. But I think they've changed the requirements now. I think they've increased the age. And then you have Ms. America, MS America. So that one is 26 and up, and you can be married, you can be single, you can be divorced, that kind of thing. And then you have Mrs. America. And so there's a different pageant owner for each pageant.
Okay.
Right. So, yes. And so
Got
they
it.
each have their own set of rules. And so there's lots of different pageants. Ms. America is one of the 7 largest pageants, from what I understand.
Well, I mean, that's crazy that to think about this. And you know, for whatever reason, I mean, this is Joanna here, Miss America. God, I'm not even gonna pronounce it. Joanna H. Joanna H. She's gonna kill me. She's like, I can't believe you did this to me.
No, you're good. No.
Tiara Magazine was able. Well, obviously, she's gonna be in the cover because she won. Heck yeah! So there you go. And then we're gonna do all that stuff. So, and then if people don't believe that she has been involved with veterans, she has been involved with veterans. Look at that. With our brothers from the English, the Royal Air Force, and the Royal Army. I guess they call it Royal Army out there. So it'll be cool. And then let's see, a farewell. So I believe this is your husband, correct?
Yeah, this is my husband, David. This is just, a fun shot. This was a red carpet event that we were supporting different things for. So I just thought I'd include a fun shot in case you want.
Yeah. No, that's fun. It's funny because I'm thinking, like I always say, like, oh, I wonder what they're thinking right now. He's like, how much you just spend on Amazon? that's what I'm thinking. He's thinking, and you're like, I hope he doesn't find that box in the corner.
That's funny. Well, what's funny is he calls himself Mr. America. So
yeah, right. Hey, you got to earn your own title, my friend. You got to be like, you can't just be Mr. Olympia all the time, okay? And then we have another one here, Second Harvest Food Bank. So obviously, you're very well involved in a lot of different organizations. Like, again, because of your tenure, you this is the one thing you're supposed to be doing, just servitude, right?
Right, exactly. We serve the community, exactly. Mm-hmm.
And then saying goodbye to the people, just being in the community, and the people. Look at that dog in the background. I'm pretty sure, like, you probably told him, hey, can you please roll up the window so he doesn't take my tiara?
I know. Well, so this shot here is actually a big event that I attended, and it was feeding our veterans. So it's the Soldier Angels is the organization that hosts this. So they asked me, they're like, hey, can you do a surprise appearance for our vets, and there was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. So it's a drive-through. So they drive through. So they wanted pictures. They're like, oh my God, it's Miss America. So they were shocked, because it was a surprise appearance. And so it was so touching. So these are, I have many more photos, but these are just a couple of snapshots so that.
No, that's fine. And, I just wanted to point them out because you did send them to me, and I told you that I was going to cover it. So, I had to keep my word, because otherwise you're never going to come back, because you're like, that Caesar doesn't keep his word. I'm like, contraire.
You're a man of your word.
Well, I try to, even though my wife says I don't listen, and something else. Anyway, I don't know. But I had a friend of mine, a coworker, I should say, today that we were talking. We were talking to her today, and we were just talking about certain things, and we joke around in the office, and I was like, hey, there's a couple of things, and I don't want to sound trendy or whatnot, but there was a couple of things I said. Hey, the one thing that man can do that women are not able to do? And she says, what? And I'm just, she breaks her silence. What? And then she's like, well, what is it? And she's trying to think. And so there were other people around, right? And they start laughing, and they're like, I cannot believe you just fell for that. She's like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. I was like, yeah, you're right. They can't keep quiet because they're always going to do it.
Yeah, that's a really good one, Caesar. I love it.
And I can tell her that she's like, oh, I'm going to get you back. I was like, oh, please don't tell me you're a plumber. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, oh, because you're gonna bring old stuff up. 6 months later, he's like, I believe you did that to me. I was like, well, you kind of fell for it. Hook, line, sinker. I mean, what do you want me to tell you?
Exactly. It was a perfect setup.
It was. It was. You couldn't have done it any better. And like my friends were just. I mean, all of our other coworkers were just laughing, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's gonna be. She's gonna be. Tomorrow be like, I cannot believe you said this on national TV or whatever it is. But look, even Adrian is laughing, and he's just. But it's good. Hey, everybody, if you're listening to us on X right now, we are holding strong. Just like yesterday, our X account has been blowing up, and right now we're holding at 35,000 listeners on X. So thank you, X, for doing that. X Trends, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for pushing our show, because we are here for the veterans. And Joanna is kind enough to join us today, and I told her that she had a lot of rules for me. And I'm just kidding. I'm just so kidding.
Contract. I know.
I said, like, look, I said, I'm gonna send you a link to my show so you know exactly what to expect. Yeah. I am full transparent. I was like, I'm gonna ask you some of these questions, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. I was like, no. I don't do that. And I don't play you already know I don't play the political game. If anybody wants to do the political game, I do have another show that's called Politishock. Not me, but one of my other co-hosts in our network on Voice of the People USA Radio and TV Network, Politishock. They come out every Thursday night on 24/7 on VLPUSARadio.com. So that's when they come out. Politishock. It's weekly, one on Thursdays, 9 Eastern. So yeah, join them. And Dan Smeriglio is currently running for the Senate seat out in Maine, and that's what he's doing. So he is one of our. He's the man behind that show. So it's Politishock. So make sure you check him out. Tune them out. So so look at Bet Syndicate. Still laughing. I'm still laughing too, because I cannot believe I actually pulled off that joke.
Yeah, I know. That's a really good one. I got to give you kudos for that. That was really good.
I can't believe it. Like, we in a life of social media, right? Because everybody has social media. I'm pretty sure you've seen the video going around. I mean, these videos are always good. So, yeah. I mean, they're always very entertaining. And if you see it on one platform, you're going to see it on the other. So right. I cannot believe that this person didn't see it at all. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it happens. But we can't have cameras in there, so nobody caught it on video. So, it's like me saying, like, if it wasn't on camera, or if there's no pictures, it never happened. Well, you and I know that we kept a lot of things hidden from our parents. So if we would have had taken pictures, oh my gosh, we would have been in trouble.
Big trouble.
So, all right. So, all right, let's get to the questions. I mean, I think we've talked around enough, and I think I talked the most, and I'm already going hoarse, and there's no reason for me to keep going on this one. As far as me, because it's not about me, it's about you today. And, we're going to talk about your tenure. What was the one thing that you really, really loved? And let's be clear, before getting involved with all the veterans and stuff like that, what was the one thing that you promised yourself when you actually started doing the pageants? What was your, I guess you could say, your platform to go on to these events?
Well, that's a great question, Caesar. So, there's always a backstory, and my backstory actually, before I became Miss America, starts back so can we go like a little deep, or do I have to keep it superficial?
Hey, look, this is your time. We have 2 to 3 hours, however long you want. You can do whichever you like. So I am literally just navigating our conversation with certain words or certain questions.
Yes.
Based on your answers, I will then go ahead and go through another set of questions. So let's just let's just do it. You know what I mean? Whatever you'd like to do, I am here for you.
Okay. Well, part of my platform and what I do is I have what's called the Royal Princess Crowning Program. Uh-huh. And what I do is I crown women. I've crowned babies who were little preemies, all the way up to our beautiful mature women who are 98. And so what I do is I talk about identity, and that has been so amazing. And so like I have crowned girls, you know, in the restaurant who I could tell looked really depressed, like my servers, and I spoke life to them. And I keep crowns in the back of my trunk. My husband and I do, and he'll go and pull it out, and I will speak life to her, and I will just release a blessing over her. And if she lets me, I'll pray for her, a short little prayer, and then I crown her. And that crown is a reminder of that she is royalty, and that she sparkles with the sparkle of heaven. And how this even came about is just a really amazing story, because, you know, obviously where we've had our own struggles is where we can help other people, right? And so I used to struggle with, you know, feelings of unworthiness. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't pretty enough. And all of this is, you know, a long time ago. And I was in that journey, on that journey of healing, and really learning to come into the heart knowledge of who the Bible says I am. You know, you got your head knowledge, but then there's the heart knowledge. And so I had been watching these YouTube videos, and they kept showing up in my feed. And there were these like stories of people who died and they'd gone to heaven. And they were like really amazing stories. But I thought, you know what, I don't want to die, and I don't want to have a terrible accident like these other people. And so I began to pray, and I just said a simple prayer. I said, God, I really want to go to heaven, but I don't want to die. I don't want to have a terrible accident or anything like that, because I hate pain. And I just want to go to heaven. And so on my birthday of all days, I am just listening to some music, right? And just meditating. And all of a sudden I'm in this vision, but I'm out of my body, and I'm in heaven, and I'm in this amazing ballroom. I've never seen anything like it. And the hosts of heaven, these luminous beings, were all around. And I was in the middle of this magnificent ballroom dance floor. And so I'm taking this all in, and then I look ahead of me and I see Jesus, and he comes and approaches me. And as he's approaching me, he lets me see myself the way he sees me. So I'm literally looking at myself through his eyes. And I saw myself in this beautiful, stunning gown and this tiara on my head. And, you know, I had never, ever in my life imagined that I would ever become a pageant queen or anything like that. That was never on my radar. And so then in that moment, I had literally an instant mindset shift. It was a complete shift of how he saw me, how heaven sees me, and how I was to see myself. And so then later in the vision, and he took my hand and he danced with me. So then later he said to me, my daughters on earth don't know who they are, and they are my royal princess. And I want you to crown them as a reminder that they are royalty. Now, I had no idea, Caesar, what that even meant. I had no idea. And it wouldn't be until 3 years later that I was presented with the first pageant opportunity. So this was back in 2014. And a friend of mine said, she's like, hey, you know, you should compete for the Miss Orange County, California pageant. And I was living in California at the time, in Southern California. And I said to her, I was kind of snobby, and I said, why would I do that? You know?
Yeah, you're from Orange County. You gotta be snobby a little bit.
I'm not like those other. I'm not like that, you know.
What is it? Were you part? Hold on, I know I've seen you before. You were part of the show, right? The Royal, not the Royal, the Real Lives of the Orange County.
No. And so, you know, what's so funny is, you know, when I heaven has a way of making me eat humble pie, right? So she's like, Joanna, you got it all wrong. She's like, you should compete because Newport Beach needs a woman like you. You serve your community, you know, you're a leader, you're a faith-based woman, you practice what you preach. And she said, you should compete. And guess what? You win. And I'm like, so that shifted my mindset. And so I kind of had to, you know, humble myself and repent, like, oh God, I'm really sorry. I was very judgmental. So I ended up winning that pageant. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so what do I do, you know, with this crown now? What do I do? And then I was meditating, and then I just got this download. Of how to do a royal crowning ceremony and how to teach about what the definition of a princess is and everything. And then I even outlined something for boys. And so I ended up doing my very first crowning ceremony / knighting ceremony at this quadruple.
Oh, a knighting ceremony.
Yeah, for the boys. Yeah. And so it was at a quadriplegic hospital where all these kids, they're little, they're like anywhere from babies up to 21 years old, and they can't stay any longer, but they don't have any use of their limbs, none whatsoever. So it's very difficult. And so, but I felt like that's where I was supposed to go. So I contacted the director and I said, hey, I'd like to do this ceremony for the kids and teach them about that they are royalty. And I worked with the firemen. So I invited the firemen to come and knight the boys. I did teaching on, what it means, what the definition of a knight is. And then I did a teaching on what the definition of a princess is and everything. So I crowned the girls and the firemen knighted the boys.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
it was so powerful. So then the staff, they were so moved and they're like, hey, there's some kids that couldn't come. Can you go to the room? So I'm like, absolutely. So we take this whole entourage and we all pile into this one young lady's room. And, but she was non-responsive. I didn't know anything about her. Yeah. So I walk in there with this big group of people and her eyes are closed. She's like lifeless in her bed. And I called her name and I said, Karina. All of a sudden she opened her eyes.
Wow.
And I said, we're here today to crown you a royal princess of the King of Heaven. Her eyes got all big. And so we did the whole service privately just for her. And she had a trachea. And all of a sudden, when the fireman put the rose on her shoulder, after I crowned her, she started talking and the nurses were undone because when we walked into that room, before I called her name, she hadn't been responsive in 5 weeks. She had not opened her eyes in 5 weeks. So she opened her eyes when I called her name. And then she started talking and she hadn't talked in 5 years.
Right.
So that was the beginning of my platform. And so then that carried through. And the following year, I competed and I won a second title, Miss Anaheim, California, which was then preparation to prepare me for Miss America. Then the crazy thing happened. After that, I ended up getting really sick from exposure to toxigenic molds and had a real health battle. And when my husband and I, we've been married for a decade now, but when we initially got married, we didn't know, but we had exposures to harmful frequencies through our smart meters. And then we had like a whole cluster of them outside. That's a whole other story. But anyway, so I got over all that through natural alternatives and then was well enough to compete. And I competed for Miss America.
And this whole journey, you were talking about, the out of body experience, I guess you could say. And when you started dancing, were you dancing salsa, bachata? Were you dancing mambo? What were you dancing out there?
A waltz. It was like I was dancing a waltz with Jesus. It was.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it because the love that I felt, I've never felt anything like that on this earth. And so, of course, I'm like,
Yeah. And do you still feel a lot of the times that powerful, being or that sense of having stuff? Do you still feel like that?
Oh yeah, I do. I have different experiences. Like after that I started actually having dreams. Like I write music and so I would get these dreams of being in heaven on a windy road in the wilderness, and there were people hiding in the wilderness, and it was a brilliant white path. This was one of the dreams that I had. And I was singing, but I couldn't hear the music, but I could see it. And in my dream, it was these musical notes that were three-dimensional with multicolors that were just undescribable. And they're hitting the trees. And so as the notes are hitting the trees, all these people and children from all parts of the world started coming out, and because they were hearing the music. And I had these wings, these white wings, I call them Holy Spirit wings, but that they were coming out underneath the wings. And so I woke up with a song called Out of the Wilderness. That was
wow.
Yeah.
And
so,
has this song been published yet?
It's been published, and my husband and I we're also a ministry. So Virtual Church Media is a virtual church, and so one of our platforms that we do is we have a prison ministry, and so part of our prison ministry is we have our resources on. It's going to be, I think it's close to like 600,000 Adobe tablets. And so the song is on that. And what's funny is my song is like watched 20 times more than the other stuff, which which was unexpected, but yes. And so it's on YouTube. And then on our mobile app, you can also have access to more of my other music and stuff through virtual church media. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You did mention something about this. It's that's your husband right there, and this is your website for virtual church media, right? Oh, there, look at that. There's something you were talking about. That you have the crowning stuff. So,
Yes.
well, we can talk about this a little bit throughout the show for sure. But you guys check out the website, virtualchurchmedia.com. Obviously, they have a lot of different ways of actually for you to donate to their cause as well. Because again, this is just one of those things that you definitely need. Like they have their own channel, TV, Apple TV, Google, Amazon, and Roku. So Prime, it's awesome. So, oh, what? You are a writer? Oh my God, we have so many questions from now on.
Ask away. Want to talk about feelings? We can talk about feelings.
Oh, we're gonna talk about feelings, nothing more than feelings. All right, 7 mistakes women make that repel good men. Yes, let's talk about that.
And how to reverse them. That's the key, is how to reverse them.
I have something for you. All right, here we go. So answer me this, right? So I've heard it said that women are always right and that men are always wrong. So if I tell you you're right, are you wrong?
That depends. Now, I'm glad you.
No, I knew it was going to come. I knew it.
I think you're going to be actually surprised. It's funny because in my book, 7 Mistakes Women Make That Repel Good Men, I actually addressed there's what I call predictive programming. There's a lot of media programming that emasculates men and makes them look like they're weak and spineless and stereotypes them. And then it stereotypes women to be domineering and, crack that whip and everything like that. And, how often have we all heard the phrase, happy wife, happy life? Yeah. Well, I disagree with that phrase 100%, because it really should be happy spouse, happy house. Right. So shall we practice a little bit? Yes.
Wisdom here. Ladies, please take note.
Yeah. And so what happens is in chapter 1, I talk about the whiff-up syndrome. What's in it for me mindset. And so our culture right now is a very whiff-em oriented. It's what you can do for me. It's how you can serve me. It's what I'm going to get from you. This is a very culturally strong right now. It's a real entitlement kind of mindset. And a lot of people don't realize that programming, that mindset comes from the music we're listening to, you know, how much music is directing our boys, that women are to be used, or, they're hoes or whatever, right? Those lyrics and how many, songs or videos are women, prostituting themselves to get control. And it's like the complete opposite of what marriage is actually supposed to be: connection, harmony, unity, partnership. That's what marriage was designed to be: relationship, right? Not this other whiff-em selfish mentality that's all about take. And so, and I had to learn this the hard way. I was previously married, and I talk about that in my book. And, that marriage didn't work out, and my man picker was broken at that time. And I picked Mr. Wrong. And so when I had to later unpack that, I had, on it, I did practice some courage, because it takes courage to look at ourselves.
Right.
But the woman is not.
How many years of therapy did you do for that?
I know. Well, we won't go there. We won't talk about it.
Okay. We were talking about our feelings. What are you talking about? Now you see, full disclosure.
It's in my book. They can get the book. The whole story's in there.
That's shameless plug. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. That's good. I see what you did there.
But it's, women are not always right. And so this is one of the things that I teach in my book, is that, we have to be willing to honor our husband, honor our man, honor the man we're with, right? And there's a way that you can speak to someone. You speak to the king in the guy, not the fool. Does he make mistakes? Sure. Does the woman make mistakes? Yeah. But you've got two sides to every coin. You have one side of the coin that's the women, and then you have the other side of the coin that's the men. Men
Yes.
are 100% responsible for their reactions, their responses, what they do, what they don't do, their choices, and women equally. So it takes two to tango. And
Yes.
so if we can learn how to address and talk and not assume, things like that, not assume, oh, you're cheating on me. Why did she text you that? Or the husband, not hearing his wife, she's got some legitimate feelings and he's not hearing her, so I believe that, for the most part, when you have two healthy people and they want to make it work, there is a way to make that happen.
So I'm gonna throw a wrench at you.
Okay.
What happens when you have two people that actually suffer from PTSD?
Well,
Both
they
the husband and wife.
yeah, they both need healing. And so my encouragement would be to seek that healing and to also understand what the triggers are. Now, I'm not an expert in PSTD.
No, but you have the this expert in the let's call it the
relationship arena.
Well, yes, but you also have the spiritual side of it as well,
Right.
because again, we're supposed to. I mean, the Bible does tell us that we're supposed to. The man is supposed to what is it? Cleave to the women of
You're supposed
women's
to.
bosom, right? And that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then the wife is supposed to be subservient to the man.
He's supposed to be subservient to the God and the man, not the devil and the man. So, like in my previous marriage, there was abuse going on, and at that time, I was counseled by the church to submit to his abuse. That's the way Jesus submitted his life. I mean, it was like completely opposite of what Scripture says, right? So,
right. I'm sorry. Was this a obviously organized religion? And again, we're not getting into the whole.
Right.
But was it a non-denominational, or was it a Catholic church?
It was called a church. It was a church, and the person who gave that advice was misguided. We'll just say it like that. Right.
Okay.
And and so, but when you have two people who are wounded, then there is more work. But in my experience, God can heal anything. And so you brought in the spirituality part. So when we bring prayer, when we invite God into our pain, he's the best healer I know. He's the best shrink I know. And and after that first marriage, I was broken, and because there was a lot of drama and trauma that happened, and I had to get healed of that trauma, and that was a process, right?
Yeah.
And so we all have that. We all have. There's big traumas, and you have little traumas. Little trauma could be from childhood. Like let's say you go and you run and see daddy, and you're so excited to see daddy. He just came home from work, and he's tired, and he wants to watch TV, and he fishes you away as a little kid.
Yes.
That's a little trauma, right?
It's awesome the message you bring, and like you said, given that little royal princess treatment is could mean a lot of it, right? I mean, a smile to somebody, saying hello to somebody in the morning could mean a lot to them at that point in time. They may need it. They don't know they didn't need it, but once you say it, they need it, right? I mean, wow, it's just one of those things. You definitely have to do that. But I want to take a moment first here, because I want to play, and the whole reason why we are here is to remind everybody that Saturday, June 7th, we are having the telethon for the veterans, put on by people of first. I messed it up. Let me rewind. Being put on by People for a New America, Veterans First Initiative, called the Veterans First Initiative, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to have plenty of things. Here we're going to have a lot of different musical performances, celebrity interviews. A lot of the interviews for the entirety of the show are going to be coming from me. I was chosen. This show was actually chosen to actually have these interviews, and ma'am, I would like to tell you that you will be part of this telethon this Saturday. They are going to be playing some of this interview that we have today. And again, it's going to be 8 hours starting at 12 Eastern. 12 noon Eastern, and then it's going to go all the way down to 8 o'clock Eastern. So it's going to have a lot of things. Toronto's going to start us off for 2 hours, and then we're going to go to Chicago for 2 hours. Then we're going to end up going to Phoenix, toward the West Coast, and then we're going to finish even farther out in the West Coast, LA, where our good friend Richie Onari from the band The Sweet, the multi-Grammy, multi-platinum winning award band, the Sweet, will be on, and they will be probably doing a performance, I would say, because guess what? It's his show. He could do whatever the heck he wants, and obviously it's going to be awesome. He was on the show, on our pop-up show yesterday that we had. It was great. And I'm just excited the fact that Joanna, you're part of this. You are one of us. Your contribution to this organization is just by you showing up and saying veterans are what we are here for. So thank you for that.
Well, it's very exciting. I'm honored. Really, I'm honored.
Well, again, I can't show people. I can't tell people enough of just how much this picture means to me. Because, like, look at that. I mean, even though Royal Air Force, gosh. You're killing me, Joanna. You're killing me, Smalls. You should have been the Americans. But you know what? We will always help any type of veteran because, again, this elephant is actually also for the Canadian brothers and sisters up there through the Disability Channel. That it's one of our media partners that's up there. What that Disability Channel does is actually they provide a lot of training programs that they are able to people like you and I can say, you know what, all of a sudden I think I want to be a host. I think I want to do a podcast. And guess what? The Disability Channel will train them through grants and through government grants that are able to do those things. So what they'll do is that they will teach somebody to actually do digital media production for pre or post or be a host, because a lot of people don't have the skills of the gift of gab to do such a thing, to actually talk. And unfortunately, I have the gift of gab, and sometimes I also have the face for radio. So this is why I'm here and sharing this story because I think this is, again, it's an important part of the story, and also the veteran story that we need to have. And so it's a great thing. But again, June 7th, please tune in. It's going to be through Voice of the People USA Radio and TV Network, Music Digital, also through Patriot Radio out of Florida, and to hopefully, Joanna, knowing that you guys have your own platform through the church, virtual church media.com, that we were able to actually post and through your audience go through and actually show these great bands, these great interviews that are going to be going through, and hopefully we can come up to where you guys will bless us by actually showing the entirety of the show for those 8 hours through your guys' network. That would mean the world to people for a new America. That would be awesome.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely talk about that for sure.
Well, we will, and I will send you a dollar contract. A promissory note for $1, saying so that would be awesome to do, because again, we're trying to reach as many people as we can, and the more people, again, $10, you can forego one day of Starbucks for $10 and give that to the veterans for that one day, because that's what we're here for. We the People for New America actually will always be first as far as I'm concerned in regards of helping veterans, which with outside organizations being, obviously the main or the main organizations that are helping veterans are the VFW, Veteran of Foreign Wars, and they have 1.4 million members in auxiliary, and also through the American Legion, the Disabled American Veterans, Paralyzed Veterans of America, the Vietnam Veterans of America, also the Purple Heart Order. There's also out there. Where's another one? I'm thinking. The Iraq Afghanistan Veterans Association. It's out there as well. And then the have all the little subgroups that are underneath that, like the VFW Writers, the American Legion Writers, the Combat Vets Writing Association, I believe. Something like that. Somebody will correct me, I'm sure. But there's all these different sub-organizations that actually can help. And you also have the NCO, Army NCO Corps, Air Force, and I know somebody's going to correct me on that one because he's not listening at all right now. Okay, yeah, he's not. He said he's listening. I've had somebody waiting for him to actually come in because I told him who I was bringing on, and he said, "Dude, I definitely want to be on this." I said, "You will wait your turn, sir, because Joanna is very, very important to this program right now, and no, you will not." So, Storm Holloway, thank you for your comment, and you know what? Maybe after the break, I will bring him in so he can say hi to you because he too is Star Trek. Star Trek. Well, you actually would say by a truck because he was struck by Joanna being here on the show today. So.
Oh, yeah, bring him on. Bring him on.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you the current VFW Department of Alabama Commander, Eric Dudash. I did say that right. That was a very easy way to do it. Dudash, right? Dudash. And this dude is, I can definitely call him one of my very good friends. And thanks for joining us, Scott. See you later. I just called you Scott.
I know.
I was thinking Scott. So, Eric, please meet Joanna. And Eric is a good mentor for many. For me, I call him both mentor and a friend. And as you can see, he is holding up that chair just like he did for his entirety of his career for the Chair Force. Real well. So Joanna. I wasn't thinking Diana. I was thinking, I was thinking the Michael Jackson song, "Sweet Diana."
Oh, yeah.
Diana, yeah. So
Princess
exactly
Diana. Yes, all the royalty theme.
Well, yeah, it was. That's exactly what I was thinking because I saw the tiara and just blinking right in my face. I mean, if we really want to go there, we could definitely do this one right here because it was. I mean, it's right there. Tiara magazine, and yeah, I'm gonna leave that there because Eric is right in the middle.
Hey, I got a face for radio too.
You do. You know? That's why I didn't want to bring you in. Maybe we'll just cut out the
yeah, you two are handsome men. Okay, so own it.
Yeah. No, hey, I appreciate you having me on, Caesar. This is the first time I will tell you that my wife has been yelling amen every time Miss America has been talking about the book and what we need to be doing in our relationship. So I appreciate that.
Oh, thanks for the feedback. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know she's hollering from the office. Yeah.
I challenge her to come and actually come talk to us because we could. Hey, well, I remember I was talking about we're going to talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
I feel and I think the Jedi, what did they call it? The Jedi, the Force is really strong in this one. I feel for whatever reason you're in trouble because you're coming to Texas and see me.
I know. I'm looking forward to some good food. I'll just leave it like that because
well, no, okay. So I've been having it. No. Okay, hold on. So I have to tell you a story, Joanna, because this is, and I have to correct him. I told him, I said, if you say that place one more time, I'm gonna punch you. Because he's like, oh, I cannot wait to go to Taco Casa. I was like, oh my gosh.
No, Taco Cabana. Taco Cabana.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Whatever. I said, no, I am not. First of all, as a good Mexican, right? Because I'm a Mexican descent, I will not step foot at any of these Taco Bueno, Taco Casa, Taco Cabana. No, I am taking you to and for anybody that knows the Dallas area, there's a really good boulevard called Harry Hines Boulevard that has a row just of a bunch of taco trucks that are way better than Taco Cabana. So no, sir, you will not, and I will not set place into that. Because of that, I feel offended, sir. You, sir, are out of here.
Oh, that's ain't nothing but love. Love.
Yeah, Joanna, you'll find that us as in our vets, we have a very what's the word, Eric? It's demented sense of humor.
Yeah. We all got crazy in us. Let's just leave it like that.
That's right. Hey, that you're the Superman. You got that intensity and you got that drive, and it's that superpower coming out.
Well, Eric looks more like Robin.
like Robin.
I'm just saying.
I'll tell
I
you,
like the two banner that one.
I was almost in tears listening to Miss America crown these young girls, though. So I'm glad you caught me on when we were smiling, because I'm just like, man, I'm
He was
shook up. You
balling.
guys,
You were
you know,
balling because you won a crown.
yeah, yeah. How come? Yeah, can men get a crown? But anyway,
Men get
it's
knighted. We actually, my husband does the
that's right.
knighting service, right? So
Yeah,
for men, it's a beautiful Excalibur sword. It's so funny because every time we bring that, all the guys are like, "Oh, can I hold that sword? That's so cool," So we were actually invited to the governor's mansion in Oklahoma, and they had asked me to speak to the girls. These young ladies, they had been they came out of sex trafficking and were very abused and things like that. It was very intense. And there were some young men there too. And I can't show those pictures because of,
Nope.
the laws.
Completely
But
understand.
oh my gosh, it was intense. I mean, when I looked each girl in the eye, because here you have a young, I mean, as little as 10, right? Having
Yeah.
horrible things happen to her. And I'm speaking to her and I'm putting a crown on her head and I am releasing a blessing over her life. And she's just staring at me, soaking it all in. And then when David goes and he releases, the knighthood over a boy or a man, because men get beat up, especially our veterans. You're emotionally beat up, you're physically beat up, when you're at war, you're fighting, or and so to have that expression, it's an act, a prophetic act of that sword coming over your shoulders. It's powerful. And then you combine that with God's presence, their lives are transformed. It's not because we're transforming, it's because we're just the hands of Christ, right? We're the hands of God and the mouthpiece of God. And we just release that, right? So that's what it's all about. It's about changing lives. That's one life at a time.
Yeah.
isn't that something where I heard you guys earlier talking about being called to serve. Aren't we called to serve, whether it be in your community, whether it be in faith, whether it be in don't just be a part of something, do something when you're a part of something type of a mindset. But that transforming that life, Miss America, I guarantee you they're gonna pay it forward. I just as they grow and spread their testimony, I think that's the amazing part. Like, you affect one, they affect two, they affect four, it just keeps multiplying.
That's so true, Eric. I'm glad you brought that up because there was a woman that I crowned, and she is now crowning girls and women. And every time someone comes to her house as a guest, she takes her crown that I gave her and she crowns them. She doesn't give it to them, but she releases that. So she's paying it forward, that speaking that identity, speaking life, speaking a blessing over them, that you are important, you matter, you're cherished, you're honored, you're loved, So
That's awesome.
and
That's awesome.
everyone has their own way of doing that. I happen to, for me, it's the crowns, for you guys it's different. Everyone has their own path and their own special gifting and how they release that. Some people are really funny, or some people, they can sing a song, or, whatever it is, it's unique. Everyone's different.
I can't,
Oh,
Eric.
man.
I cannot believe you have the audacity to tell her that you are not a prince. That is just not cool, sir.
What's that?
I cannot believe you have the audacity of saying you're not a prince.
Oh man.
Like,
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Okay, if you haven't caught on, if you're listening to us, on the screen you have the name, and underneath you have the title. And so Eric put on his title, "Not a Prince."
I can't even see it. I don't have my reading glasses on. You can put whatever you want on there. Caesar. I still love you. I still love you.
Oh man, this is how we get people back, and this is why Eric doesn't like me sometimes. Ah man, just kidding.
I gotta ask you, Joanna, right? What was your calling to have, like, and you might have said it already, but what was the calling to give back to veterans? Where did that start for you?
I had a great grandmother who she was in the war. I'm from Scandinavia. I'm of Scandinavian descent. And she said something, she told me a story. Actually, it was my grandmother, not my great grandmother. So my grandma told me a story about when she was little with her mom, so my great grandma, about the war with Finland and Russia. And my grandmother was helping the soldiers who were wounded. And she told me the story about how she would, she would serve them, and she would bring them food and, things like that. And then she would pray for them. And she just shared how that impacted them. And I was little when she told me that, but that always stuck with me. And I have friends who, have served and things like that. So, I have a heart for that because it's just a heart of sacrifice. And I don't know how to describe it. It's, and I think that's kind of where it stemmed from was my grandma, telling me that story, and it impacted me on how the soldiers that she helped, that were, and because, you're talking, I mean, my grandma, I was little at that time, so she'd be well over 100 plus 20, whatever. But so that impacted me. So I think maybe, if you look back the roots, that's probably one of them.
So Pilgrim G has a Pilgrim. I got it. I got an answer for you. Pilgrim G asks, can we support monthly or just once? So let me answer you, sir, by saying, sir or ma'am, that we would love the donations and support every as much as we can. It's not just the one thing that we are leading up. This is going to be our annual event. We're going to be doing this is that we're going to be doing the telethon. So this is a way of giving back to the veterans, because this is how we're able to actually get them to show them that we can definitely everything that we raise is going to go right back to the veterans. So yes, you can definitely support monthly, whatever it is. And I'm going to put the website up right now. It's vetsinneed.org. You can go there to do it. You can also go to pfanausa.org. They have a donate button there as well. But for this specific show, the telethon, we're going to be using givebutter.com/vetsinneed. Givebutter.com vetsinneed/vetsinneed. That's where you can definitely go in and donate. So yes, thank you for your comment, Pilgrim. Thank you. That's so awesome that you asked that question. It's a very good question, and I apologize for not saying it earlier, but yes, Vets in Need. This is exactly what we need. But what I'm going to do for you guys right now is, Joanna, you're talking about a war, a story, right? Well, I have a story for you. I am going to show you, and Eric has seen this story, and every time he cries dearly, and he cries because he wants Tootsie Rolls, and this video is called The Tootsie Roll Man, and it was done by a very, very good friend of mine from K10 here locally in the ABC NBC affiliate, Bailey Vaughn, who is the morning host of the anchor for the news, starting at 4:30 in the morning till all the way to like 7. So I've been on her show several times. She's been on my show once. Very, very first show I ever had on Military Broadcast Radio, which was my previous station. And I carried it over because I was like, you know what, this is a very important message for them to have. And you talk about faith, and you talk about a belief. This will definitely bring you tears to your eyes, because you'll see what this man endured. And I'm going to ask you questions. So there's going to be a pop quiz, Joanna. So pay attention to this. Eric, I'm not going to include you in this one because you already know this one. So when that happens, I'm going to mute your mic because I want her to answer. There is no peeking on this, and you cannot send her.
I'm gonna have the viewers help me with any answers.
But yeah, exactly. So viewers that can definitely help. Our platforms are definitely there. We're ready to go. We are. You know what? X Trends, thank you so much. You guys are so awesome. They have been helping with our numbers today. Right now, we were strong. We are strong at 39,000 and growing, and it's just completely awesome that our my little humble show is being just trending right now on X Spaces, and this is just awesome because I have two, one and a half great guests, one great host, one great guest, and the other one just ended up coming on at the last minute, Joanna. But I'm just kidding. God, I'm gonna get kicked out. She's gonna kill me today. But yes, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you the Tootsie Roll Man, and I will tell the story of the Tootsie Roll Man afterwards, the aftershock of it. So, without further ado, the Tootsie Roll Man.
As he approaches his 96th birthday, Jim Hahn still remembers intimate details about his time serving as a Marine in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, and he also remembers how it all started.
Mother wasn't going to sign. I told her, I said, if you don't sign this, I'll lie about my age. And she signed.
He was inspired to enlist when walking down the street at 16 years old. He tells K10 he saw some people messing with a Marine and his girlfriend.
They was doing anything they could try to make him mad. He told his girlfriend there to go down and wait for him at the red light at the end of the street there. He turned around and whipped all 4 of those guys.
A year later, he was off to San Diego for basic training. Hahn joined the occupation force in both China and Japan during World War II, which marks the only time in the history of Japan that it has been occupied by a foreign power. A bitter time these days, though. Gunnery Sergeant Hahn holds tight to the sweeter moments.
It's going into Japan, into town. I seen all these little kids running around there, and they looked like they was hungry and everything else. So I started in getting candy from our PX and taking it in there and giving it to the little kids. It got to where whenever I'd come inside the city limits, man, here come all these kids.
What he didn't realize at the time, candy would one day become his lifeline. In November of 1950, just a few months after the Korean War began, 8,000 fighters, mostly Marines, were trapped in the Chonjin Reservoir, surrounded by 120,000 Chinese soldiers. And you guessed it, Sergeant Hahn was one of those Marines.
If somebody told me this, I'd have thought of him as being a liar, because I did not think that it would get 90 degrees below zero. I seen guys just walking along, and all of a sudden I could stop walking, and they just did. They'd freeze to death while they was walking.
Freezing, barely hanging on to life. The Marines called for ammunition using their code word, Tootsie Roll.
I never will forget that. They got on the radio there and talking to them, said, send us some Tootsie Rolls. And they was talking about ammunition, a certain type of ammunition.
Well, the soldier on the other end of that radio took the message literally, and they dropped into the reservoir Tootsie Rolls.
Here's just 3 planes there coming out with these parachutes coming down there with Tootsie Rolls. It's supposed to be ammunition, but it's Tootsie Rolls. But if it hadn't been for them, a lot of us, including me, would probably starve to death.
Those little chocolate candies were the fuel that sustained the troops. All other provisions were frozen, so they survived on the chocolate.
It seemed impossible that they was there for any other reason than to save my life. I thank God many times the fact that I lived through all of it. Didn't lose any arms or legs or anything that way. I sat in this foxhole, and people all around me freezing. And some reason or other I didn't.
He says all he thought about was his next breath and how he would use it.
I don't know, I still think about it sometimes. I know that God saved me from it. Try to thank God 3 or 4 or 5 times a day about that.
Decades later, Sergeant Hahn literally holds on to that memory with a bucket of Tootsie Rolls made specifically for him with American flags after the company heard his story. Those Marines that made it out are now revered as the heroes of the Frozen Chosen. But this one calls Texoma home, and he chooses to spend his time right here in the Sherman VFW.
I feel like they're brothers. This, to me, is part of the military.
As this veteran reflects on a life of service most would never know, Hahn would do every second of it again. The few, the proud, the Marines. It was such an honor to be able to sit down with Jim, and I just want to say right here on the record, thank you for your service. Not only a World War II veteran, a 3-war veteran. He decided to just keep going back. I know.
And you know, I had heard that, I knew that there was something involving Tootsie Rolls, but that was the first time I actually heard that full story, and that is so incredible.
And he's just walking around Texoma.
My name's Richie Onuri with the Multi-Platinum Group. This week, we all owe a debt to our veterans. It's time to give back. With the Veterans First Initiative, you can make that difference right here and right now. I want you right now to open up your wallets and go to vetsinneed.org, vetsinneed.org, and make that difference our vets deserve. Thank you.
We want everybody to tune in and watch this incredible event. Willie Chambers, June 7th, the Vets Telethon. Be sure you check it out.
Welcome back, Carter. Welcome back to the Battle Rhythm Podcast here on Voice of the People USA Radio and TV Network, Busey Digital, Patriot Radio, and also on X Live. Right now, we're on X Spaces. We are, I'm telling you guys, we are trending. We're at 42,000 right now and growing. So we are we're trying to hit our mark like we did yesterday with our pop-up show. Very, very special. And I'm here reminding you guys that this Saturday, June 7th, from 12 noon Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern, there will be an 8-hour telethon that will be going on with a lot of different hosts, a lot of different interviews, a lot of different entertainment. It's just going to be fun-filled all day long, and we're going to be able to do it. Eric will be here in Texas with me. We're going to be at the Department of Texas VFW State Convention, where we are going to be electing a new junior vice commander for the Department of Texas. And so big shout out to those guys because they've been working hard for the last year to do it. So we're going to be not eliminating, but we're going to be electing somebody new for this year. So again, we are joined this evening by 2019 to 2021 Miss America, Joanna Hairabedian.
Oh, that was great. You got it. Woohoo!
I spent the entire 6 minutes that we were out saying it. Hairabedian the entire time. So, yeah.
You got
Eric,
it. That's awesome.
Yeah, Eric, take note of that, sir.
Good job. Good job.
That's right.
Yes, Army can be trained, I tell you.
I don't know about that one, but good job on the other.
I told you, I have a face for radio. This is why I'm here.
I understand.
So we're good.
I got a question. How long, Miss America, how long does it take to get to even compete in Miss America? Is there like, I know I'm unfamiliar with it, not knowledgeable, whatever you want to call it, but is there like qualifying rounds and all this stuff you got to go through, or?
Well, yeah. So first you have, each pageant has their selection process. And so the girls, they apply, and depending on, each pageant has a different set of rules. So with, what's funny is when I decided to compete for Miss America, I actually only had 2 days left before I realized what the deadline was. And so normally she didn't take girls because it was only 6 weeks until the pageant. But because of my background, I had 2 other pageants behind me. Then she's like, okay, you can go. I'll let you compete, because she saw my background. And so that was an intense 6 weeks for me of training. I had 2 coaches. I had a pageant coach who helped me with the walks, because you have your sportswear walk in this pageant, and then you have your evening gown walk, and then you also, I had a coach who helped train me and coach me for the judges panel interview, because in this pageant, that's really going to make you or break you. And for that, the importance of it in this pageant is huge. So I was in front of a panel of 6 judges. They were all different personalities from all different walks of life, and you just don't know what they're going to ask you. And so you have 3 minutes for them to like you, decide why they would, why you should be Miss America, and they can ask you any question. And so I did a lot of training. It was intense. And I know, because I did the coaching, I'm a big fan of coaching, because a coach helps us get us better, helps bring out the best in us. And so because of that, I did really well. And now there was some times where I almost fell. I almost fell on my face on stage. But it's all about the recovery. So during our the pageant walk for the gown, I had this gorgeous gown that was 10 pounds, and I'm not kidding. 10 pounds, okay, of material fabric. And so I was walking, and I did fine coming out, and I was doing my poses, and then I did a spin. But as I was spinning, somehow, this has never happened to me before, my ankles somehow twisted underneath me, and I literally almost ate it. And I mean, it was an instant, and an instant thought, I am not falling. And all of a sudden, I got out of it, recovered, and people were like, did she almost fall? And yeah. And then there was a second time when during the sports bear walk, because the stage, the lights are hot, and so it was starting to kind of melt the stage a little bit, so it was a little sticky. And so I did my whole pose and everything, and I'm going back down the stage towards the back entrance, and I did my final turn, and my shoe stuck to the stage.
Oh, wow.
As I'm lifting my foot up because I'm doing a spin, and I'm like, boom, and I spun out of it, recovered, and they're like, what, did she almost trip or something? Like, oh no, that was fine. So,
oh my God.
I'd have fell. I'd have fell.
Yeah, it was intense, and you just never know, what's going to happen. So when you have that judge's interview, you have 3 minutes to wow them, and from the minute you that door opens, boom, you're on.
I mean, you got Caesar and myself and a whole bunch of veterans. We're just trying to figure out, is left foot first? Is it right foot first? And that's just learning how to march, let alone 5 different styles of walking or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, and it's very unnatural. It is not natural walk at all. A pageant walk, the catwalk, and you have, there's different walks for the pageant. There's different walks for, the onstage modeling for the fashion shows. And it is like as far from normal as it could possibly be. It's not easy. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So it's time for our question, our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz is brought to you by Scott's Construction out of Alabama. Very good friend of ours. And then just look it up. Scott's Construction. I'm telling you what, if you want, he's building dreams come true. And he's building them one boat ramp or house at a time. And it is a national company. He'll go anywhere. I think he has done a lot of things in Florida and a lot of things in California. So Scott's Construction, boom, that's for you. Thank you, sir. And let's get to our pop quiz here. So, Joanna, I just played a video for you. Right? It was about a 5-minute video, and it was about a Marine, right? The Marine was actually the battle was actually the Battle of the Chosin Reservoir in the valley.
The frozen chosen survived.
Right. Yeah. And did you know that the ones who survived are called what?
I don't know. I didn't catch that one.
No, because it wasn't there, but it was a chosen few. It was a chosen few, so I'll give you that one.
Okay.
Okay. How many Chinese soldiers were in the battle?
Is it like 160,000?
Yes. Well, over 100,000.
Right, over 100,000.
How many American troops were there?
Was it 60,000 or less? It was I don't remember. It was 120,000 Chinese soldiers, and I think was it 60,000 Americans?
No, it was close.
Okay.
Divided by 4. It was 8,000.
Oh, 8,000.
8,000. Yeah. So they were very, very outnumbered.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So where did the coin or the term coined Tootsie Roll? What was it used for? And what was its intent and what happened?
The Tootsie Roll was initially their code word, and then the Tootsie Rolls were dropped by plane into the valley, and that's actually how the guys survived, which is absolutely incredible and remarkable. And that Jim survived, and having watched, his fellow soldiers freeze to death, I just cannot imagine. I can't imagine.
Right. One thing that I don't believe they mentioned it on there is that they use as Tootsie Rolls. They would heat them up just enough, and they would plug the bullet holes that were on the bulkhead or the wall, as is also known, in order for them not to, for the wind, because the wind was fierce. So we put them in there, and they would freeze instantly, making the wall 100%, not unpenetrable, but they would plug up the holes. So I don't think they mentioned that, but he did mention that it was. How cold was it?
90 below zero.
Mm-hmm. He was
I
very
can't
adamant at that.
imagine 90 below zero. I mean, I lived in Finland for a period of time, and it would be like, 15 below zero. And I was like, I can't go out. There's no way. So 90 below zero? I just, wow. I mean, it's absolutely miraculous how the ones that survived did. Miraculous.
And that's why now you're living in Florida.
Yeah.
What a contrast.
It stays hot all the time.
What a contrast. So Gunny Han, I actually saw him tonight because we had our monthly meeting for the VFW today. And didn't unbeknownst to him. So again, Gunny Han was a 3-war veteran, and it's very rare to find 3-war as a Marine, nonetheless. Okay, as a Marine, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And every time he talks more about the Korean War because of where he was. And if you look up Marine history, the Battle of the Chosin Reservoir is actually one of the most regarded piece of history that the Marine has, along with taking the hills of Montezuma and all that. Their song. And that battle is one of the most regarded ones that they have, and they had a lot of different people in that battle. But he always talks about it, and he was there this morning this evening, and every time the commander would actually hit the gavel, because the commander has to let us know when we stand up or sit down, and there's somebody's getting out of order or unruly or whatnot. That gavel is a way of actually getting it to, hey, settle down. Let's get back to where we need to go, and it's a conductor basically. So every time he bangs the gavel, he'll sit up because he's asleep. It's kind of past his bedtime. Great. It's funny. It's but that is one thing that we may see it as funny, and he laughs about it because he doesn't want people to know that he is suffering from PTSD. He has that shell shock.
Yeah.
PTSD has only been a clinical term for not very long, less than 20 years, I believe. All before that was actually called shell shock. So if anything historically you come up with, World War One, and you'll see that the soldiers in World War One will have that 1,000-yard stare where they're just their eyes are really bulging up and they're looking and shaking, and they don't know what it is or what's happening to them. Right. So let's take care of our veterans and what we're here for. This is why we're here. And this is why Joanna joined our show today, because this is a very important cause for people for the American Veterans First Initiative. So if you're able to give, please forego your Starbucks tomorrow, your Dutch Brothers, your whatever tomorrow or for the next few days, because we really need your help. Please donate. Please give. Time, a little bit you can. givebutter.com/vets-in-need. Your contributions make a big difference for us to actually purchase gift cards for these veterans, for them that to help out with different programs, be it that it's training or mental health care, anything of that nature. Please help out. Again, $10 will go a long way. And you spend that, like I said, in Starbucks every day. I don't know if you have a monthly budget for that, Joanna, for going to Starbucks, or are you a coffee connoisseur that make your own stuff?
I'm not a coffee connoisseur. My husband loves coffee, the organic coffee, but I just can't stand the flavor. I love the smell, so I'm a tea girl. I love a nice cup of tea, spot of tea.
Oh, a spot of tea. All right, let's pop quiz. What is your favorite type of tea?
I like butterfly pea flower. It's blue. It's really cool.
Wow, we have ourselves a tea snob.
No, I'm just a connoisseur. I like to explore. I'm the health girl, so
I'm
uh,
just thinking.
I know.
One of the best teas, and I'm pretty sure Eric can attest to this. One of the best teas that I've had ever in my life was when I was in Syria for about a year. Every day I would drink chai tea, and it's not the chai tea that you're thinking of, because it's not. It's a completely different type of chai that they do it, and it was so good, and it would help. And I don't think I'm being gross or anything like that, but their normal way of doing it was they would have their meal and then they would have the chai tea at the end of it because it would help with indigestion. It would help with all this other stuff. So it was very uh, nutritional, I guess you could say. But it had other effects and other ways to do it. And I mean, I used to drink that. I think I was like 3 to 4 times a day. When I went over to the little cafe that we had there, because there was only one cafe, so we would go there to pretty much hold our meetings and our whatever else. I mean, I would do that and smoke some hookah. And I don't know if you know what a hookah is, right, Joanna?
Yeah, I don't smoke, but yeah.
No. I'm just saying that you don't know what a hookah is, and it's not like. All right, let me rewind. Let's just scratch this. We're gonna go to a break, and we're not gonna be talking about this because I feel bad, and she's. I feel like she's condemning me right now.
No. Hey, if you enjoy your hookah, enjoy your hookah. There's no judgment here. No judgment.
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
Hey, I'll talk about tea. I thought I was gonna say something like, I was thinking like favorite tea, Earl Grey, but Joanna really gave us the butterfly
Yeah, right.
blue. I was thinking like Earl Grey, I guess
There
it
we
shows
go.
you how simple I am.
Now I
But
feel better.
I know we have sweet tea in the South, but that's one thing they have that you were mentioning, Caesar, downrange, is when you have some sweet tea with those individuals. I think it's about 3/4 cup sugar with a splash of tea. And that'll keep you going for a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I thought was interesting? It's just on my mind, so I hope you guys
Oh,
don't mind me sharing this. It's just on my mind. So here we heard the story of the Tootsie Roll. And isn't it amazing? We were talking about faith earlier. Isn't it amazing how God provided? I know I don't want to get too, but He provided what they call it unanswered prayer. That's not what they wanted, but
Right.
it's what they needed.
yep. And now he
I don't
has a
know. I got
lifetime.
my mind blown. I'm just thinking about it. So deep thoughts here.
Now he has a lifetime supply of Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
Well, it is a deep thought, and because everything else would have frozen, right? And I mean, who would have thought that I would have never could I've ever guessed Tootsie Rolls saved their lives and was used for, the things that they used it for.
Crazy,
It's
right?
mind blowing. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's
So,
amazing.
I just received a message. Says I love a butterfly pea flower too.
Yay! We're gonna start a new club, the Blue Club.
Well, welcome to the Battle Rhythm Podcast, where we are sponsored here by Butterfly Pea Flower Tea.
That's right.
I gotta look for this stuff. I gotta look for it.
Hey, the last time.
Fun.
So the last time we made a shameless plug on the show, Eric ended up buying some Whiskey Town barbecue from Tom Cass, who has been one of my regular guests. And Tom Cass, like, dude, he gave me a bottle when he came to see me at the studio, my first show through Voice of the People radio and TV network. And I tell you what, that bottle is like halfway done. I'm like, dude, I gotta savor this because not only do I eat it, my wife eats, and then my daughter's like, "This is good." I was like, "I know, stop eating it. This is mine."
We demolished it. I took it up to a Bassmasters event in Tennessee, and the whole house, like, we made chicken, and it was gone. I don't even think I got any until I got home, like another bottle. I think I bought 3 bottles. So
you did, because you were so mad. Remember, he's like, "That Tom Cass didn't send it to me like 4 weeks later."
He was so busy. He was so busy.
Yeah, he was, because like he was traveling through the States. He came down to see me, and then he went down to Houston. and he met with George Foreman before he passed away. Literally about a week before he passed away, he was with George Foreman, because they were talking about the Whiskey Town barbecue, and it was funny because I was like, oh, dude, I was like, okay, it's actually gonna taste good. He's like, hey, open it, let me see what it does. It actually, I was surprised at just how good it was. I'm not exaggerating just because he's my friend. Well, this thing is like it's like, have you ever had Sugar Ray's, or what is it, Sweet Baby Ray's?
Sweet Baby Ray's, yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
It's good.
And
It's good. But now I got to get this butterfly tea. I got to look for this. I got to look
yeah,
for it.
Yeah.
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 And it's actually really good for you. It's good for cardiovascular. It's good for your immune system, and it's so cool because it's blue, so you can make a mocktail out of it. You know, put some lime in there. You know, put some club soda. You can even, it's really
Wait, what?
yeah.
Club, did you say club soda?
Yeah, make it bubbly. You can make it bubbly.
Okay,
Wow.
all right.
This has got to be this is the most informative podcast I think you've ever had, Caesar. I really believe this.
Oh yeah, I'm being schooled right now. I would have never known.
You're leveling up your game. That's good.
You know what? It is because I have very crucial guests and a very knowledgeable guests in different areas, and that's what I pride myself into. And then Eric tells me all the time, Caesar, what is your why? I'm like, what do you mean why? I'm like, yeah, what is your why? Your why is why are you doing this podcast? What are you getting out of it? I mean, what do you mean, what am I getting out of it? Of course I'm getting this out of it. I am a voice for those that don't have a voice, because I'm able to do this type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody gets a platform like this where they get, talk and sound, for a lack of a better word, goofy, because that's all I am. I'm sorry. There is a thunderstorm going on right now, and I could just see it because my blinds are down, and I just heard the thunder, so I apologize. It kind of caught me off guard because I think there was the lightning hit pretty close, so I kind of felt it. So it was like,
Oh, that would freak me out a little.
well, okay, so I'll tell you that because I mean Eric is pretty keen to this. What happens? So a lot of us, when we suffer from PTSD, and I know I'm changing the subject about the tea, and we'll go back to it, I promise. But when a lot of us suffer from PTSD, people don't understand this. When a veteran tells you, "Hey, I do not want to be around fireworks around the 4th of July," because it's very, very reminding of the things that they felt and experienced, and it brings them back to that area or that place where it was. Now, it takes a very long time for people to actually get back to a place where they can, feel safe and secure, where they can actually process those feelings and what they're going through at that moment. So it takes a very strong. Sorry, what's going on?
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
good. You're totally
No,
good.
it's it's the amount of processing time that it takes, and sometimes it takes a couple seconds after a while, sometimes it takes minutes, sometimes it takes two minutes. But yeah, no, we all get that PTSD is a hidden thing. I can cover it up with a smile with the best of anybody, but I think it's not so much a fear. I think, and I think it's just the body trying to say, we're trained to take the offensive. We are trained to defend our country and defend, most importantly, our brothers and sisters. And when you see something that's unknown out your window, your first instinct is to defend. And so it's not so much of a fear; it's your body can't process. What do I got to do next to defend my brothers and sisters? But I see Caesar back on the mic there. But yeah, it's a. But I'm glad you talked about your why. I'm really proud that you bring that up because everybody out there, if you don't have a why, you need to ask yourself, what is your why? Why are you doing what you do? And that could be, you could take that positively or you could take that negatively. Why are you doing? You have to ask yourself that question, and you have to define your why. You talked about Scott, earlier, and he helped me with that, and another someone from our auxiliary side, a family member of a military, huge supporter, Kimberly Lewis. I'll give her a plug. She's probably not listening, but if she is, hey, Kim, how you doing? But she always asks me, why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? If you can't answer that, reevaluate real quick.
Yep.
So
And we
I'm
know
glad you brought
Joanna's
that up.
why. We know Joanna's why because
That's right.
she had the dream, and she was able to dance with with Jesus, and she was there, and felt it strong. And this is what her why is, to go out and give little girls hope within themselves. And I mean that means uh, I'm pretty sure that they see themselves differently after they get that. So.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And I love hearing that story about the voices of him, capital H, right? I love hearing that. And it's amazing when we talk about PTSD, and I'm gonna I don't want to revert back to a negative, but um I have heard the voices of the other, uninvited guests, I call them.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the most dangerous because you can easily get them confused. I
Yeah.
hate to say it that way, but it's a true statement. And uh, my brothers and sisters I have contemplated. I'm open. I've contemplated suicide. I have a service dog for that. After serving 30 years downrange, I struggle with it, and I heard voices of the uninvited guest, and I think it takes a lot of individuals like Joanna to be there, a lot of people around you to say, "Hey, look, that's not really the right voice you need to be listening to," because they'll make you believe things that are totally not true. Let's
Yeah.
just look at the lightning outside that Caesar you were going through. We know that you're safe, but the mind is telling you otherwise. Sometimes I feel like it's an uninvited guest telling you things like that. So I just love hearing stories like that because I just love hearing the voices because I've heard the different voices. We all have that struggle. And I always say this, that the more you believe, the more you get attacked.
hmm
Spiritual warfare is real. Anyway, I'm throwing this out there, but it's
yeah.
on my mind. You know me, Caesar. I just got to talk.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
love
appreciate you bringing me out of that momentary
Yeah, yeah,
side of
brother.
weakness.
I got you. I'll be landing
So,
in Texas for some TCs here shortly.
yeah.
Taco Cabana.
Oh God. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
that'll get your mind off the lightning real quick.
I'm punching you now,
Sorry, Joanna.
Joanna. I promised
that's
you.
all good.
I
Hey,
promised you I was
what
gonna
part of
ask.
what part of I mean, I won't, I should probably shouldn't answer this, but I'll tell you, me and the wife, we go down to Florida. We go down to, what is it, Tampa. We go to Tampa a lot, and they
Ah,
have this restaurant called the Columbiana down there. It is unbelievable. The coffee down there is really, really good, and their
yeah,
meals are unbelievable.
I know. Well,
See,
we're like about an hour and a half from Tampa. So next time
got you.
you're in town, you and your wife will have to uh,
Hey,
give us a ring, and
we
we'll
will, we
drive out
will.
there for you. We'll drive out there for you. We'll meet
Oh,
you.
that place is amazing. So if you, that's a plug out for Columbiana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And no, we're not getting any royalties or anything like that
I
for it.
know,
So,
I know. I wish I would get a free meal from them, but
yeah,
yeah,
I know, right?
yeah.
all
But
right. Uh,
no, you're back.
yeah. Joanna, I did promise you, and I told you that I was gonna. I promised you that I was gonna ask you this question. And the question is that what has been when you were in your tenure, being Miss America, what was the one thing that really sticks in your mind that you really loved doing?
There's so many amazing moments. It's
Right.
hard to quantify it into one thing. I would say the moments, like when I got to surprise the veterans, when they weren't expecting Ms. America to show up and they're driving in for their food, and to watch their faces, the expression on their faces was like, I can't even describe that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, like they felt honored, like, and it was an honor for me. I was the one that was being blessed. And so it's those moments where I see that impact on somebody's face.
Yeah.
And heaven sees all that, that it all counts. And and then there was another moment where I got to crown this woman. She was age mature. She was the mom of a friend of mine, and she was pretty much in her last season of life. And so I got to crown her and honor her because she passed away shortly thereafter. So yeah, and in that moment that I got to crown her, it was interesting because she also had pretty severe dementia, and so she was in and out of reality.
Yeah.
But when I crowned her, it was like reality, like all of a sudden clarity hit her, and she looked at me and she said, "Joanna, you just reminded me of when I was a little girl and I saw Jesus and I accepted him in my heart." And I just start crying, I'm like, oh God, and her eyes were just so clear. And so it's those moments you can't describe them. That is what has been the greatest impact for me.
Yeah.
To see that I can help create that. I can be a part of that. It's an honor to be a part of that.
And on the contrast, what is the one thing that you wish could have gone differently, that perhaps you could have handled differently?
I don't have any regrets. If anything,
no regrets. No regrets.
No. If anything, I would love to have had an even bigger platform where I could crown 1 million girls at the same time, virtually.
Hey,
that's actually one of the projects that I wanted to pursue and work on, was to be able to have a program where virtually these women and girls can come in and have this experience, and I would crown them and bless them and pray for them.
Well, we could always call the Guinness World Book of Records, and we can actually make that happen. Be like, hey, you know what? The Miss America from 2019 wants to crown, as many girls as we can to give them a sense of self. And I could always be I'm just thinking of an idea. X-Trends to help me out here. We're gonna blow this up. We're gonna hashtag this, and we're gonna say that
well, the AI is possible. So, we would need to have it funded, and then we can make all that happen, because I have service providers to do that, and who could carry that out. So, to make that happen, we just need funding. And so, but we'll talk about that.
All right. So it's time for something that it's very, very, very important to our audience, because this is a fan favorite. And Eric already is pumping his fist knowing what this is.
Yeah.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the part of the show, their segment that is actually one of my favorites too. Here we go with the rapid fire questions. Rapid fire questions brought to you by EGA Construction out of Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Thank you, Lynn Toomer, for your continued sponsorship of the Battle Rhythm podcast here on Voice of the People USA Radio and TV Network, BUC Digital, and Patriot Radio. So we continue. So, Joanna, the premise of this game or these questions is to answer these questions as soon as you hear it. The first thing that comes to mind, that is how you answer. That will stick forever. This is recorded. It will be live, and this is your legacy. Remember, your legacy. So however you answer these questions is going to be your legacy. I will start with a very, very easy question, so you can kind of get the premise of how it is played. Okay, so here's the first question: your favorite type of candy?
Dark chocolate.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Sophisticated.
Sophisticated, yeah. First,
To be
it was what was it? What was
Christopher
it?
Elbow chocolate. Have you guys ever had Christopher Elbow chocolate?
What was
No,
it
that
called
sounds
again?
expensive.
I'm not getting paid for this plug, so that's a freebie on them. Christopher Elbow chocolate is like eating jeweled candy. It's unlike anything you have ever tasted or seen in your entire life, and it is phenomenal. It's a they sell it in Missouri. It's a Christopher. He came from there, and but there's also a store in San Francisco that you can buy, and you can order it online. But there is nothing like Christopher Elbow chocolate. That's that's my favorite, actually.
The way you described it, I think you just found the funding to crown a
Yes.
thousand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you just found it. Yeah.
And I was actually gonna go further and say, do you live in Dubai? Because that sounds like a Dubai chocolate.
Oh, yeah,
And
actually,
I'm
Missouri.
gonna look it up.
Yeah. What did you say it was called? It was called Emerald what?
No, it's like eating emerald jeweled chocolate is what it's like eating with
What is it called?
Christopher Elbow chocolate.
Christopher
Elbow chocolate. And then you keep seeing emerald. I keep thinking Wizard of Oz, like
Oh no,
follow a
'cause-
yellow brick road
yeah,
down.
no, one of the chocolates looks like an emerald.
Oh my
And-
God.
No,
Christopher Elbow chocolate.
you can look it up online. Yep, it's very expensive, but it is like the best burst of flavor you've ever tasted in your entire life. Like one of them is lavender. I love lavender flavor. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah,
We are not being paid for this.
no, not being paid.
Christopher Elbow Chocolates. If you're listening to us today, and if anybody out there with our 46,000 listeners, if you have a connection to Christopher Elbow Chocolates, please let them know about this podcast. Let them know that Miss America 2019-2021 is willing to crown as many girls as we can for a world record, sponsored by Christopher Elbow Chocolates. How cool would that be? So yes, this is a thing. Didn't know? Look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, I don't know about this. Gift to impress.
Oh, it's a gift to impress. Let me tell you.
Oh, caramel pretzel chocolate bonbons. That reminds me of Married with Children.
Yeah, and I haven't had any of those other chocolates. I've had just the jewel chocolates.
Oh, since
Yes.
2003.
I feel so cultured after this.
I know.
podcast. I feel so cultured right now.
I hate your sarcasm. But just kidding. I'm so kidding. Anyways, see, what did I tell you earlier today when we were talking about like the things and I did the segment and we started talking about something and I like squirrel. It just completely get away from the questions.
The show. That's the beauty of the show. Go with the flow.
This is what happens when you're live. All right, let's get back to questions. We'll talk about that off the air later on. All right. Are you ready? Because the next question, I know Eric is already jumping in the bit to ask you a question, but it's not his show, it's mine. So, all right. What is your favorite branch of the military?
Well, I cannot answer that.
Don't.
No. Let me say it. Each one is amazing. So each one is unique. And so
Don't give me amazing.
It's the Marines or it's the Army. Can't say that because they're all my favorite.
Don't give me amazing.
They're all my favorite. That's my answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
All right, people. I'm sorry. I tried to be controversial. I could not break her. I could not break her. I am so sorry. I apologize. And this is probably the last time she's ever going to be on the show anyway because she's so mad at me. So, I was, you know what? I'm just going to go all out. What is your favorite military branch song?
I don't know.
Oh, you better know. And the caissons go rolling along.
Yeah, well, why don't you sing it?
I just did.
don't have him sing it, Joanna. Don't have him sing it.
Hey, you sing it, Eric.
No.
No, I want to keep my audience. Please don't. Next, I'm telling you. Okay, so For those people that, those of you that don't, well, a lot of you don't know, I like to do a little karaoke every once in a while, and one of the songs that people that I always do, and it's I guess kind of a signature one, has always been a very very special song for me, and it's called "It's My Way" by Sinatra, right? No, I'm not doing it today. Nope, not doing it ever on the air. So we'll just go from there. But anyways, oh, dude, you have never even heard me sing it. But here's the kicker to that: I sing that song "My Way" in Spanish with mariachi. So think about that one for a while. Yeah, I know. Shocker. Anyways, all right, let's get back to the show, and let's get back to the questions. Joanna,
for the Air Force, it's going to be "Off to the Wild Blue Yonder," right? And the Marines have their hymn, so each one has their song.
That's right.
And then the United States is the battle hymn of the Republic. Yeah, just kidding. It's a Star Spangled Banner, people. Come on.
Yeah.
A little bit of trivia here, or not quick trivia. I guess it's just I guess it's called trivia. Joanna, do you know what is the official language of the United States?
No, I don't.
Good, because the United States does not have an official language. Each state has the official language of English. However, the United States as a whole does not have an official language. Did you know
that?
Did you know that? And I swear, look, I'm not reading. This is all of memory, right? I'm not reading it all. Okay, there we go. Can you see? Well, there it is. Okay. All right. Did you know that the closest we came to having an original language in the United States was only short by 3 votes in Congress? And do you know what that language was? Oh, I can't sing this song. It's trademarked. 2 seconds.
I would think Spanish. I don't know.
I don't know. Indian, because the Indians were the originals, at least here in Florida. And Spain, I believe it was Spain, had ended up selling Florida to the United States. So I don't know. That's a good trivia. Let's hear it.
And it would have been Indian because there's many native Indian languages, right? So or dialects, I should say. And I'm trying to get this person that just answered this question correctly to get on the show, and she refuses to get on the show. So yes, Darlene, I am calling you out. Get on the show because she is right. It's German.
German.
Wow, that I didn't know.
Yes, it's German.
German. Wow.
German. And with that, she gets a signed autographed pair of drumsticks by Richie Onari. That is her prize. And I'm just kidding because they know each other very well, so I'm pretty sure she has an autograph. But oh god, I don't have the link. I just sent you the link, lady. I did. All right, I'm gonna send her the link because I want her to come in here because Darlene was the one that she was a catalyst between Joanna and I today, because without her I would not be able to have had her on the show. And I was just so when we talked, I was very well. I like today. I try to be very respectful about the views and what we talked about, and not get into. And I told you this. I didn't want to get to any controversial type of a conversation, because that's not our style. Eric has been a constant pain in my side because he's been always on this show for the last year. He can attest to that, saying that I've never actually asked any really controversial questions. Have I put people in a situation where I ask them weird questions? Of course, I just did. So he can definitely attest to that. All right, let's get back to the questions. Eric, I know you have a question.
Yeah, favorite military movie.
I know that's one.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't know I was going to get quizzed on all the military stuff.
Well, then we're talking about veterans. You should have. I didn't tell you.
Favorite? Yeah, for me it was Men of Valor. That was my favorite. Robert De Niro. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good one.
yeah.
I have a hard time watching movies like that because it impacts me too much. So I don't watch them, and it's for that reason, because emotionally I'm very sensitive, and so emotionally it wrecks me. And so that's why I can't say that I have a favorite movie like that, because a lot of those are really, really hard to
All right,
watch.
favorite movie. That made it easy.
Yes. So my
Favorite.
favorite movie, I think, would be The Matrix, the first Matrix movie.
The Matrix. Okay.
Darlene, yay!
There is
Hey.
catalyst. And I've already told Darlene this and Joanna, because Darlene has been very, very crucial in getting high profile guests such as yourself, that I've hired her as my publicist. Little did she know that I did that.
Yeah, it's a fancy way of saying I work for free. Right? So
no, man, we are doing this for the veterans. You're not working for free. I'm telling you.
I'm doing it from the heart. Yep.
That's right. That's right. Because I do this. I there is no monetary monetization at all. This is all from our hearts, because we're Eric, myself, we're all in the serving industry, because we serve through the VFW and doing all kinds of things, and so this is awesome. So I wanted to bring you two, Joanna and Darlene, together, because you two are very important to the show, because again, you are bringing a different type of perspective in my show. So thank you for those.
And Joanna, I was the one that texted Caesar and said, I too love butterfly pea flower tea. So,
Oh, that's great. I love it.
I was texting her, get on the show. She's like, no, get on the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, Miss America deserves the stage all by herself. So
I like to share the stage.
Well, I'm really grateful that you and Caesar were able to make this happen. We have been working so hard for this whole telethon on Saturday, and anything that's going to ramp up the exposure and help get the word out and just bring a variety of guests on the show to, make people want to tune in. I think that's awesome. And I do agree. Maybe you should have a little feminine touch here and there, Caesar. So.
Well, that's why I normally have
That's it.
Sorry, I could stop. It was too easy. You set it up for me too easy. I'm sorry, Eric. Yeah, I know you. Okay. You want to? I'm taking you to Taco Cabana. No, you're right. I joke, but in all seriousness, I look at both perspectives, because it's important to us as veterans that are always out. It's very well known that in every service, the hardest job in the military is being the military spouse, because they're the ones that actually are always taking care of the house, the kids, the children, the everyday, while we're gone doing what we need to do. And people always forget that, right? People always forget that it's not just the service member that goes, it's also the family that stays. And that's usually the hardest ones. And the ones that are the hardest, to take it the hardest, are the kids, because they're missing their mom or their dad. And when somebody doesn't come back, what do you say? It's just, sorry, they were doing their job. And, when we come back, a lot of the things that we go through, and I know Eric can attest to this, is that we are not the same person that left, 9-12 months before. And we come back to a world of lack of a better term, hurt, disorientation, detachment. And I had a guest a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about written consent and also oral consent regarding prescription drugs. And right now we are battling on this thing of with the VA, and this is the big thing that Eric and our national team has been working on legislation about being able to take certain prescriptions for the veterans, because a lot of the times what all they're doing, the VA is doing, is giving us a cocktail of drugs for us to mask those feelings of, suicidal ideations or detachment anxiety, anything you can think of under the sun. We have, 30 up to 30 pills all in one, and that's all they're doing, giving us this and this, and there's no we have to think about other alternative ways of actually handling this thing. So, with Joanna, with your platform, that you're in front of representing a mass majority of people as Miss America, that's something that your platform is huge on, and I commend you and I thank you for being a voice for us, and giving those little girls a little a day of a ray of sunshine, because of the little crown that you carry around for them, and that's awesome. And so thank you for your service, because without people like you that are giving back to veterans, children of the veterans, we would not be able to survive sometimes. So because of people like you, is very important that I and Eric and us from the veteran community thank you for what you have done, what you do, and what you continue to do. So
Yeah,
thank you for your
absolutely.
service.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you for your service. And
Thank you,
Darlene,
Joanna.
I can't thank you enough,
Yes,
because
sir.
without you, I mean, I don't know how I would my show has grown so much because of you and Richie and this organization that I'm with, People for a New America and Veterans First Initiative. And when they told me that they wanted the Battle Rhythm podcast to be their show, to be doing some of these interviews, I took, for lack of a better term, I took the bull by the horns and I went with it. And I was able
Texas term
to.
right there.
That's right. That's right. And you were a catalyst to bringing people like Joanna to my life, and I consider all of you guys friends. And anytime you guys want to come back for anything, and I've told you this, Darlene, I've told Eric this, and Joanna, I'm reiterating this to you right now: is that anytime you want to come back, this platform is always ready for you at any time you want. You are a friend of the show. You're a friend of the Battle Rhythm podcast. You're a family to the show, and you can come in anytime and do that. So, without further ado, this is what I'm going to do. So, Darlene, go ahead. And I know you wanted to say something, and I apologize because I'm always long-winded.
Well, no, I mean, it's just the partnership has been tremendous. The People for a New America, the group that is behind the telethon, has been just a joy to be a part of their organization, and they are going to be growing by leaps and bounds with the exposure that this telethon is going to have, so that we can actually serve and help these veterans the way they deserve. And so it's exciting to watch it all unfold, and it's been a labor of love. And from the very beginning, we knew that it was going to explode at a certain time, and you've been a real integral part of that.
Well, thank you, Joanna. I know I'm speaking for just the Battle Rhythm podcast, but I would love for you to be a part of the People for New America family, Veterans First Initiative, and actually come out next year and be with us live. Richie's gonna call me.
Wow, that's exciting. Well, we'll definitely talk about that.
We definitely will, and I'm pretty sure Darlene's going to be the catalyst on that one. So the ball is on your court, Darlene.
I'm all about the road trip. Joanna, get ready.
Hey, if you're doing the road trip from Florida, you have to stop through Texas, and you have to stop at Buc-ee's.
Oh yes, always stop at
Buc-ee's.
Oh, absolutely. That's mandatory.
All right. Let's get back to our questions. What is, Joanna, what is the most Texas thing that you know?
The most Texas thing that I know?
Yes. Aside from Buc-ee's.
I don't know. I love, there's nothing like Texas barbecue, but the Missourians, they will argue that. They will argue they have the best barbecue, and Texas says they have the best barbecue.
So will the North Carolinians and the South Carolinians. And,
So it's the barbecue war.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. I cannot believe you didn't say Dr. Pepper. Oh, because you don't. That's right. You drink the tea. You drink the tea. I forgot.
I know, boring. I don't do soda. I do mocktails like blue, butterfly blue flower tea.
Well, maybe I should have done my research and just.
I'm buying elbow chocolate and butterfly tea.
Yeah, Christopher elbow chocolate.
Right. All right, Joanna. It would not be correct if I didn't allow you to ask me any rapid fire questions.
Oh, okay. So, what's been the most impactful moment for you?
Are we talking lifetime or are we talking just podcast lifetime?
Lifetime.
This one's oh god, there's definitely different ones. Okay, so I think one of the most memorable ones that I've had that I completely changed my life is that when I was 11 years old, my parents brought me across the border in San Isidro, in by Tijuana in San Isidro. And before, I don't know how long has it been since you've been in California? It's been a while, Joanna?
I was born and raised in California.
No, but it has been a while since you've been there?
Yeah, it's been like 5 years.
Okay, so it was already there. So down in the border town in San Isidro, it's just south of San Diego. Obviously, you have which is the largest border crossing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on the Mexican side, you'll go up a hill and it's going toward Ensenada and Rosarito, and it's a big road. You come up and whatever, and then it leads you right to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember being dropped off at 11:30 at night with I had two sisters that are younger than me. My youngest sister was in my mom's arms because she was, I think, like 1 or 2. And therefore, I ended up, we crossed the border illegally. I was 11 years old. Obviously, I had no way of anything. But that moment changed my life because I came to a country that I was able to, grow. For one, it was a culture shock because I didn't know English and I had to go right into school. And I was in 5th grade. When I came in, I had to learn how to communicate, how to basically live, and everything that I knew from previous was gone. Right, so I had to start anew. Didn't know anybody. Knew obviously my father had been here for a few years before me, so we had his mutual friends that he was here with. But that moment changed my life because obviously. Coming to this country, a country known for the land of opportunity, it gave me, and it changed my life later on the road, where I was able to go into the military, serve that way, and gain my citizenship through the military. And it was and I joined right before 9/11, and I was able to get my citizenship in 2003, 2 years after the 9/11. And it was funny because when I went in to do my interview with the immigration officer, he said, and mind you, I was in full whites in the Navy. I was in full white uniform, the Top Gun one, right? With or officer and gentleman, that one, but not the officer one, the real one. And I show up in uniform, and he asked me this question. He says, "Do you have a problem? Would you have a problem bearing arms for the United States?" And I went like this. I swear to God, I went like this. I had my medals. I had my uniform on. I said, "Yes, very much so." And he starts laughing. I was like, "I hope you take it as a joke." He's like, "I have to ask you." I was like, "Okay, well, you have to ask you. I had to answer you in that sarcastic tone."
Wow.
So yeah, that's the moment that changed my life. But then that's the moment that 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 crossing brought me to like kind of completed the circle. You know what I mean? 20 something years later, or 11. No, how old was I? I was 24. Yeah, 24. So yeah, 15 years in the making. So I was on the 15-year plan.
Yeah.
So sorry, I was long-winded. I told you guys I was long-winded.
That's okay. That's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing. That's
Well,
really
That's
cool.
a good story.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a book one day.
Well, I've got a great book of media strategists for you. So let me know when you're ready to do it.
Darlene and I were working on a book, and now I'm working on a book with Joanna. And Joanna said she wanted to do a podcast with me, and so did Darlene. So I'm like, I am gonna quit my
You're
full-time job.
surrounded. You're surrounded.
I am. I'm gonna quit my full-time job, and Eric, I'm gonna kick you out now because I'm surrounded. Okay, so I have to tell you guys a story, and Joanna's like, oh God, just let me go. I have to tell you guys a story. So I'm the oldest grandson, right? The grandson, the first grandson, the grandchild, oldest grandson, and I have 3 sisters, so there was 4 of us, and then I have two cousins, and I am the oldest grandson by 4 years. So it was me for 4 years with my grandparents. Well, then came my sister, then came my other sister, then came my other sister, and then my aunt had her daughter and her sister. So I had 2 cousins. So there were in that first generation of grandkids, there were 6 grandchildren, and I was the only male. So I held that title for being the only grandson for 18 years with my grandparents. So I'm a little spoiled.
You were the favorite.
I was. My sisters hated it. My sisters
You need a
hated it.
night ceremony.
That's right.
I am. Darlene. Yeah, Darlene. It's your turn to ask a question. Ask away. You can either ask me, or Eric, or Joanna, because we are doing rapid fire questions. We're still on that segment.
Okay, Caesar, what made you want to do a podcast?
The fact that I had a face for radio. Honestly, it started as an informational channel for the VFW post that I belong to, because we do these things called VPRs, which is it's basically a kind of like a history note of a significant event that happened that marked a historical event for the VFW. So like one of them would be like the Desert Storm, another one would be like the Korean War, the Veterans War, Vietnam veteran. The Vietnam War, and it's usually done on Vietnam Veterans Day. So that's what started. So it kind of started out like that, and then it evolved into interviews, and then it evolved into somebody forwarded my information to a military broadcast radio. They reached out to me, and then it just kind of grew from there. And then I met you a few years later. So that's how I got started. So yeah, but I've been blessed because again, it's a platform that I have, and so it's good. So, all right, Joanna, it's your turn.
So I'm asking a question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Eric.
Uh-oh.
What's been like a moment for you that impacted your life in some way? Positive.
Positive.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Positive. Let's see here. Wow. There's a couple of things. Being saved in the Middle East was one. But I think, for me, and of course, like I said, the birth of my child, wedding, and all that, and those are. But I think you're talking about something else.
Right.
I'm stalling. I'm stalling. Can you?
That's okay.
I am actually looking at my service dog right now, and I think
Phantom. His name is Phantom,
and he saved my life. And he comes from Warrior Freedom Service Dogs, but they give out 12 a year to combat wounded veterans. And when I say he saved my life, he gave me the life I think to be able to do things like this, or I would not be here, or to be able to go outside and have my wife not worry about what I'm doing, or getting lost, or having lost episodes, or being able to sleep at night. So I would say positive. It would definitely be. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me right now. Is my service dog, Phantom. That he changed my life. I'll just say that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for
Mhm.
sharing that. I really
Yeah.
love hearing that.
Little did
Thank
you
you.
know that Eric is an avid fisherman, and he is actually a professional fisherman that gives back to the community quite a bit. So he's able to whichever way he does it. So he's a very humble dude, and then I consider him a great friend and mentor
Yeah.
in the VFW. And Eric,
Thank you. Well, there's
what is,
therapy in that. So if anybody's listening and you need therapy, get out in the outdoors and breathe some fresh air. And I just like to do it on the water, and just be surrounded by nature. I think, fishing is not, it's not called catching. I think fishing is a lot. Yesterday, I witnessed bald eagles over Lake Gunnersville, and I mean, it wasn't about the catching. It was just, so get out there and get some therapy. That I just, yeah, nature will provide.
hey Eric,
Hmm.
look at me.
Yeah. Yeah, I got tons of them.
Yeah, I don't think you have this one. Well, you probably do because he probably gave it to you. Oh yeah. So, ladies, you're witnessing a very um, a military custom.
Yeah.
A challenge coin. This one is by another great mentor of mine, the Commander in Chief, Liphart, who is also Eric is under his tutelage as well. And this, when somebody presents this, it's a sign of, hey, you're buying the next round. So, ladies, I will have one for you when I get them made. I will have one for you, and then there'll be a challenge. So the next time I see one of you, you better have it in your pocket. And that's a fair one. That's a fair
I
one.
have pockets. What do I do?
I don't have
Purse.
pockets either.
Put it in your purse.
Okay.
But Caesar did not mention this. So in the military challenge process, he presented a coin, and as you can tell, he challenged me. He was basically betting that I did not have my coin on me. So now
Knowing
that I
that he has
produced
all
the
of the back.
coin, since I produced the coin, he has to buy
Ah,
beverage of choice. So you're praying when you show that coin that someone, if you're in a large group, you're praying someone does not have one of those
Yes.
coins on hand.
you got that right, because that's a big bill right there.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Well, it could be
You know-
butterfly teas for everybody.
Well, that's true.
Butterfly
Right.
teas for everybody.
Or we could actually change the game and be like, I'm buying you tacos.
Yeah, tacos for everybody.
That's right.
Right.
Not Taco
Right.
Cabana.
No. No.
You guys are
But here's the thing.
I love them.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Eric. Darlene is from Texas, so she knows exactly what Taco Cabana is.
God, I love the chicken.
I
Oh,
do.
my-
I sure
oh, my-
do. It's the
oh,
Taco
my-
Bell of Texas.
Oh, I love them. I love them. We
Oh
don't have them in
man!
Alabama.
But I also did that in hopes that I knew you had them because I see them in on your shadow boxes there. I knew you had them, which is why. But the very first time I challenged you with your coin, because you gave it to me with your coin, because he has a state coin, he didn't have it. Therefore, he owed me. And since I'm going to see him on Thursday, I was like, you know what? I'm going to return a favor. So it's even Steven.
I still owe you. I still owe you. You won.
Especially
You won
because
fair and square.
I have to go pick you up at the airport.
That's
You
right.
still
Yeah.
owe me- you still owe me a lot.
That's
All right,
right.
Joanna. Well, actually, no, it's Arlene's turn. Are you guys having fun with this? I'm sorry. I forgot to
yeah.
tell you. And are you guys okay with that? Staying for a little longer with this? Because again, we are at 58,000 people right now, and people are having fun with us apparently.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
good.
like I'm having fun. I have great guests, and I told Joanna this morning. I said that the conversation would kind of lead us to where where we are and everything. And if you have to go, Joanna, I completely understand. I know I had allotted for 2 hours of today, and I'm sure your husband's like, "What is going on right now?" You know, I'm hungry. He's sleeping. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like 11:24 Eastern time.
Look, if it's any consolation to you, by the time I'm done here, it'll be 11 o'clock my time, right? I get up at 3 in the morning, go to work. So we're so used to getting like 4 hours of sleep or less. And the Army AR-70, AR-670-1, which is the Army regulations, it states in there that a soldier is allowed a minimum of 4 hours of sleep, right? 4 hours of sleep in a day, but they don't have to be continuous. So,
wow,
exactly. So I can do 3 hours, and then in the middle of the day, I'd be like this.
Yeah.
It was like, "You're okay? Nope, nope, leave me alone." I close my door, turn off the lights, and be like, "If you hear snoring, I was never here." You know, that type of thing. So, all right, we'll carry on. Darlene, it's your turn. You can ask any three of us or a combination of them, however you want to do it. It's your choice, and it's your question.
Joanna, what did you do before you became Ms. America?
Well, I was in, you mean professionally or pageant wise?
Professionally.
So I've been in the health and wellness space for a long time. And it started, I mentioned earlier, I had a bout with being exposed to toxigenic molds and a tremendous health battle. I used to work for a critical care nursing association. And so I worked in HR, and I also helped coordinate. We had one of the largest critical care nursing symposiums. So I did that for a long time. And then I ended up leaving that position and got in the wellness space after I got really, really ill. And the doctors couldn't help me. I had a crazy explosion, and I'm going to be compliant here because we are broadcasting, but a crazy explosion of growth in a female area of my body. And one of them was 12 centimeters big. So yeah, that was just one. I had a whole host of them. The ultrasound showed it. And so, of course, my doctors were screaming, "You've got to have, hysterectomy, you've got to have surgery." And so even my naturopath was like, "I'll fly you to," because she was my Chinese medicine doctor. And she's like, "I'll fly you to China. And I know the doctors there, and, I'll help take care of you." I'm like, I was freaking out. So I prayed, and I said, "God," I said, what do I do? I don't feel like, and in the natural, I understand why they were saying that, because it was a really bad deal. And I just felt God speaking to me saying, "Don't have surgery." Now, obviously everyone's story is different. So I'm not saying don't have surgery. This is my story. So I opted, and so I had to find alternative methods, and that's what actually got me into the wellness space. And so I work with a company that makes frequency devices for therapy. And actually, my friend who I work with, she has a nonprofit called Wounded Warriors, and she has Wounded Warriors fly out. She will pay for them, and she'll give them, the sessions and the device, and it really helps them a lot. And so that's a short little story. But yeah, so I'm in the wellness space because, there's two areas of our lives that are very important. One is our body. Our body is our temple. And so, and then the other is our soul, and our soul is our mind, will, and emotions. And so, when we have had trauma, it does retain it. Eric, you mentioned that, when you're talking to Caesar, when we've had trauma, our cells can keep it locked up, and then there has to be that release and that expression, so it can get released out of the body. We're not meant to carry things forever. We go through it, but then we have to release it and walk out of it. And that's where the spiritual part comes in, because I've seen God do really amazing miracles. And I hope that before, we conclude, I would love to be able to say a prayer over every single one of our veterans and release a Hebrew blessing. In Hebrew, it's a blessing. So anyways, just throwing that out there. If that's not cool, I'm good with that. I'll go with the flow. But yeah.
Let's see what the challenge coin says.
The challenge coin?
It's heads. Go ahead.
Okay, well, this is going to go deep. So if we're not ready to go deep yet, then let's continue the fun part and we can conclude. So
Well, how about we do that at the conclusion of the show?
We'll do it at the conclusion.
We'll do that because I feel like I'm not taking away and I'm not taking away from the whole thing, because I believe a blessing is important, because not only are you blessing the veterans, but you're blessing the show with it, and with that, again, God, it's hard to talk about self, right? It's oneself, right? It's hard to talk about it because I may joke around a lot, being like, oh, I'm not humble, but boast about things, and I hate talking about like the success of this and that. But you are blessing the show. Without people like you're blessing my show by actually coming on and having these amazing stories, and without guests like you that have a platform, that have a very powerful story, an out of body experience where you actually got to dance with Jesus, and it was just completely different. And I told you earlier, I don't have my show is different in the sense, I think a lot of people have told me that they feel very comfortable coming on here because I'm not pushy when it comes to asking questions. I don't put you in a situation where it's going to be compromising to you or whatever, the platform you're on, because that's not the way it's supposed to be. I mean, we're literally having a conversation about many different things, and by you being on there, being open, being having your candor, it's really helping out with what we're here with the mission, because the mission is to help people. We don't know if all they needed to do is hear see you and then they smile, and because everybody's smile is different, and they see that and they radiates, and it's like, what, there's a beam of hope right there. By you saying hello in the morning, that's all they needed. I've heard stories of people saying, if the next person that says hi to me, I'm not gonna commit it, I'm not gonna do it. And it's exactly what it is. And then you may have that last action without you even knowing it. People suffer in silence all the time. And that's my hope with the show, and with having you bring in that that perspective of the things that you've experienced. One of these 58,000 people, or many of those 58,000 people, are listening, and they're tuning into that exact thing you were talking about, because they needed to hear at that point, and they're here that in this moment because they needed to hear that. And something else told them, you need to be watching this right now, and you could be not their last hope, but that glimmer of hope that they needed at that point in time. And that's my hope. And do I boast about it? Perhaps I do, in a way, but it's because I have a platform to be able to do that, to where we are here for a reason. And I'm a big believer of things happen for a reason, and you're in that moment in time for a reason, right? You need to see something within not only yourself, but within others, because others are struggling. One of the biggest things that I have learned in my PTSD endeavor here, or my struggle, is that I need to be attuned to what somebody else is saying, because a lot of times, Eric and I may be having a conversation. I'm like, dude, I this is the way I'm feeling. You saw it earlier, Joanna, where the lightning was on and he took it over right away, because I was taken back, and you saw it live. If you didn't see it live, go back and watch it. It was about 30 minutes ago, and I was here, but I was not here, and it was completely different. And Eric sensed that, and he knew it, and right away, and he took it. So again, when somebody sees that and struggling at that point in time, people need to see that, and people could definitely take away from it. Sorry, I blacked out. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I said.
No, it's fine. No,
That's
but
great.
it is. And you're making an impact, Caesar, because you have this platform, and you were given this platform, and and it was heaven designed that. And so, without you, I think one of the greatest challenges that I think people often have or can have is that they don't allow the greatness within them to shine. You see, true humbleness is knowing your greatness, and you're humbled by it. But reverse pride is playing small. That's actually a form of pride. I used to be like that. Like, I couldn't even accept a compliment from someone. And, until I had an awakening on that. And I realized that when I was rejecting somebody's compliment, I was rejecting them because they were giving me a gift. And so that gift was the compliment, or whatever. And so I've learned how to receive that. And but the part of the reason I couldn't receive it was because I didn't think I was worthy. And a lot of people struggle with unworthiness. And so so I want to, whoever's struggling with that tonight, I want to encourage you. You are worthy. You are deserving. You deserve to be loved, honored, and cherished. And you are loved, honored, and cherished. And there's a God who loves you more than you can ever imagine.
I have no words. I mean, for the first time, I don't think I have any words. And for those of you that know me well, I'm never speechless.
Yes.
So,
it's a choice because it's an awesome thing that you have right now. You are being blessed. You are favored, and the fact that you have 58,000 people that are listening and they're being impacted. And guess what? When they're impacted, they're going to impact other people. And this is how we ignite the diamond with each person.
Amen.
We ignite diamonds. That's what we do.
it is. It's true.
Amen to that.
And I mean, I don't know how else to close the show. That's a great closing right there.
It's
And,
an awesome show. That's how I'm going to close.
We're definitely going to have
awesome
her
show.
to do the blessing. But it's funny, Joanna, I did not know that story about you with your health challenge previously, and how you heard from God. And one day we'll have a conversation. That's exactly how I got into the health and wellness space. I had things growing on my kidneys that didn't belong, and I heard from God not to have the surgery. So that was an interesting synchronicity. What are the odds? Two people on the same.
I know we have a lot to talk about because I have yet to hear your pageant story. So
wait, what? Oh, we're not ending the show. Pageant story. Let's go. That is my question.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'll have to clean it up a little bit, but
No. You do it. I mean,
you're going to get the Reader's Digest version tonight, and that is when I was in I think it was the summer after the 9th grade. I was in the Miss Junior Teen pageant in California, and how it started. If you remember the store Wendy Ward, or Montgomery Ward, which it hasn't been around for a long time, but my best friend and I were walking through the department store. They had a thing that you could fill out an application to be in this pageant, and you had to submit an essay, and you had to submit some photographs, a headshot, and some in a dress. And so we had kind of a pinky swear. I'll do it if you do it. And she was like, well, I'll do it if you do it, because they were giving away luggage and modeling classes and all this stuff that sounded really cool. And so I forgot about it, and I wrote the essay, what it means to be an American, and I submitted my pictures, and then I saw her at school, and I said, what did you write for your essay? And she said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, for the essay, for the pageant. She goes, I didn't do that. And I said, well, I did. And so I was really upset with her. But then when it came time for the actual pageant, I was a nervous wreck. If you had known me in the past, painfully shy, couldn't look up when I was walking, I had a circle of friends and that was it. You couldn't have paid me any amount of money to talk in front of people. And part of what you had to do was to come out and walk on a T stage, model a short dress, come back, model a long dress. Then you had to go stand at the podium and you had to answer questions about your essay. And I did all that, which was horrifying at the time. And when there were 3 steps leading off the stage facing the audience, and as I went to leave the stage, I missed all 3 stairs. and I went flying into the audience on my face, just like I was skidding into home base.
Oh,
And
God.
and instead of, you know, crumbling to pieces and crying, I just got up like nothing ever happened, and I just turned and I walked into the green room that, you know, where they had for us, and I ended up winning. And I always with my I was always like, either they were so horrified and felt so so terribly sorry for me, but it was a defining moment that no matter how terrible something happens to you, and I mean, little did I know the things that would follow in my life. That just kind of was the preparation. That was the spray and the Pam on the cookie sheet, right? So um, that moment let me know that you can pick yourself up and keep going no matter what. And that was kind of the beginning of that journey for me. So yeah, face first in the audience, just just for somebody who already was terrified of being on the stage. So
And
Wow.
you made an impact.
Do you know what the definition of a princess is?
I do not.
One who is strong and courageous. So you
Aha.
practiced royalty and you stood up, you got up, you didn't let that get you down, and you practiced tremendous courage and tremendous strength. So that defined you. And that's what you've done your whole life, Darlene. Your
Well,
royalty.
it's another book in the making. So we're gonna have that book project going.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's going to be called the Battle Rhythm Collective. Sorry. Guys, I cannot thank you enough. This has been a great conversation, and Joanna kind of blindsided you on bringing Darlene and Eric, but I felt that
That was great. More than merrier.
I'm telling you, I love having great conversations with different people that I admire, and I feel that you know, when you have something tugging at you, saying, you know what, there's something else needed. Obviously, I needed Eric for that reason that you saw live on the air, and then Arlene, where we're talking about different things, and it just brings a different sense of not an aura, but a different sense, because the aura is right behind Joanna here. I mean, this is just her mystique and her aura. It's awesome, but it just brings a different element of conversation. Right, we're not going back into, yes, our whole mission has been to promote our telethon this Saturday, but it's also to give people hope about different things, right? And this is what the whole why all of us are doing what we do, right? Eric, his biggest thing is the why. Let's ask Eric this, and he will tell us. Eric, why are you? What is your why in the VFW, and why are you involved with the organization? And how did you get involved with? How did I bring you along into being involved into the People for New America and Veterans First Initiative?
Yeah, I think that why I'm probably going to go a little bit larger than the VFW and even this battle rhythm. I think I honestly believe that we are all called to serve. Of course, serving my country for 30 years, I'm very, very proud of that. But I'm also proud to continue serving in multitude of communities. I think my dad telling me, I heard it, I said it before, don't just be part of an organization, do something while you're a part of the organization. He instilled that into me, and I just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, because I got too many people, and I might get too harsh here. I got too many complainers that give me a ton of excuses that don't ever want to get involved in helping out the process. I would rather get involved and try to help. If I could always complain. I use this example. Well, the sidewalk's got a crack in it. Well, you want to go out there and help fix it? You can complain about it all day long. So that is my why. My why is definitely that I got more to give. Veterans need us. The communities that we serve need us. And in order to make, of course, I'm big on faith and family. And in order to strengthen and to spread the message, I know Joanna was talking about it earlier, but to multiply that message, you have to start with one in order to multiply to two. So that is my why. And then, of course, being on this podcast is just a blessing because I get to hear others. I mean, tonight, besides learning about the funny blue butterfly tea or whatever that was, and elbow chocolate. But I will probably buy both of those tonight.
You
But
are going to let us know how you like it.
He has
and
been.
the thing is I'm not ashamed. I'll buy it tonight, and I'll talk about the butterfly tea the
That's
next time
right.
on.
That's
Yeah,
right. Hey, you're
and
going to set a new trend.
I
He
will
bought.
email. I will
I can
email
attest to
PTs.
that.
But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. And tonight, like you said, I'll tell you right off the bat, I was questioning. Hey, I got a lot to learn, even in my own marriage. Joanna was bringing up some great stuff, and I appreciate that. So
I
everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. So thank you all. That's my
I
wife. Sorry.
I am extending an invitation right now officially for the Battle Rhythm from the Battle Rhythm podcast to Joanna, where we're going to bring her back as the author of her book, and we're going to go through it. So perhaps we're going to start a new segment where we're going to do a book club, and we're going to start with this, especially if you are out there and you are married, you're struggling and things like that. And I posed a question to her, Eric, earlier about how can how can somebody that is how do you handle two people with that are married with PTSD?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of service members that are out there that both suffer from PTSD. So, Joanna, I am officially extending an invitation for you to come back as the author, and you come back for another show. We can go through your book, and we can talk about that and how you can help those that are struggling in their marriage at that point in time. And Eric, that time you're not coming in because you're going to be one of our our people that is going to be listening along with your wife.
I
So
love it. I'll do
the
it.
the only way you're going to come back in is if your wife is with you on the air, so you can get some great advice from Joanna.
Yeah, she just said amen to elbow chocolate. That's all I heard.
Can I share a really quick testimonial?
Of course you can. This is your show. I mean, that I took over. Go ahead.
So really quick. So I host a conference every other year called Women of Royalty. And so I had my first one in Florida 2 years ago. And there was a woman who came, and I had been working with her, and and I invited her to come to the conference. And I told her, I said, you're going to be transformed. And she said to me, because she was in the middle of divorcing her husband. She had a form of PSTD from different things, and they had a horrible marriage. They hated each other. And she told me, she said, I'm just going to tell you right now, if I come to that conference, nobody's going to tell me that I can't divorce my husband. And I'm like, that's fine. You know what? Nobody's going to tell you anything. You just come, you receive, you let God speak to you and minister to you. I said, that's it. There's no judgment here. I said, we support whatever you do. And so she came, and she got radically transformed. And what was really funny is that when she came back home, she calls me and she says, oh, Joanna, my husband is totally changed. I can't believe it. He changed while I was gone this weekend. And I'm like, oh, great. So then what happened was she decided to work on herself. She decided to utilize and put into practice the principles. And here's the miraculous thing. Only God can do this, because, they both had 2-3 marriages under their belts. The statistics for them to even survive, and they had already been married for 20 years, but it was horrible as hell for them both. So the odds of them surviving this, because she had her divorce papers signed, ready to go. And guess what? Today, she's in love with her husband in a way she was never in love with him. But what she did was, there's two sides to every coin, like I said in the beginning. Side of the men, and they're responsible for their choices and their decisions and their actions, and the side of the women, and they're equally responsible. And so one of the things that I told her, I said, go and ask your husband to forgive you for where you have hurt him, because she had told me about the different things that she had done. And so, of course, it was tit for tat. And when she humbled herself and she did that, and she got out of the argument, well, he should apologize first. When she got out of that, she went to him. That opened up dialogue for them to get real and honest with each other for the first time in their marriage. And guess what? Now they're happily married. So God can do anything. And but we have choices, but we also have to have understanding of why we respond and react in certain ways, and those are the triggers. So when we have a trigger, that's an area that God's saying, hey, I want to highlight this for you. I want to heal this in you. And so it's not necessarily that person that's doing what they're doing, it's the trigger that they represent, that what the deeper well that needs to come out. And that's what I work with people on.
Oh my God, that's awesome. And for I just lost my train of thought. Just to make sure that I say this on officially on the record, I'm gonna say Joanna Hairabedian.
Very
Right.
good. Awesome. Yeah. Yay. Woohoo. You got this.
Hairabedian.
Yay. Great job.
Yes. Joanna Hairabedian. She is the author of a great book, and she's going to come back to us eventually. The book, the name of the book, it's called "The 7 Mistakes Women Make That Repel Good Men and How to Serve Them."
Reverse that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, reverse mistakes.
I need yep, sure does. All right. She's obviously an international speaker and a minister, a relationship coach, which many of us need. She's a soulmate strategist, as you can see. And she's a 3-time pageant title holder, including Miss America 2019, 2021. So again, Joanna, you're gonna come back and we're gonna do this with a lot more in depth on that side. And today was focused on the veterans and what we needed to do. And again, thank you so much for doing that. If you are wondering what we were talking about with veterans, this Saturday, June the 7th at 12 o'clock Eastern, people, we are going to have our very, very first telethon brought to you by People for a New America, Veterans First Initiative, and we're going to have a ton of stuff for 8 hours straight. We're going to start in Toronto for 2 hours, and then we're going to head over to Chicago for another 2 hours, and then we're going to head over to Phoenix for another 2 hours, and we're going to close it out in grand style in LA with Richie Honori and Jesse Moore. And I think Darlene's probably going to make her way in there somewhere, sometime, some way. She will be involved, and I can probably tell you that it's probably going to be with this show at this time, along with Joanna Hairabedian, who is the Miss America from 2019, 2021, and then with my very, very good friend Eric Dudash, who is not going to Taco Cabana when he comes here this Thursday because I refuse to take him over there, and we're gonna have it. But we're gonna have a great time during this time, and I'm just so thankful and humbled at the fact that I'm part of this organization because I have met great people. I've had great interviews. Some of the interviews, and I'll tell you just straight out, yes, I'm boasting on what it was. And please check out the video the live that I had yesterday. Not the live, the live show that I had yesterday. It's on my YouTube channel. The handle is the Battle Rhythm Podcast. Go check out the channel and look for yesterday's show where we had Richie Honori, who is the founder of People for New America. I also had the VFW current national commander, Al, the real deal Lip Hart. He was a Vietnam veteran as well. And I also had another Vietnam veteran, a Medal of Honor recipient, Donald Doc Ballard. He came in, he spoke about his, how great this organization is and how great it is for them for people to actually give back. And we've been talking about Starbucks. Darlene, do you drink Starbucks?
Oh, I do, but I'm a coffee snob. I really like organic coffee. Yeah, it's hard to get organic coffee at Starbucks.
So we have a coffee and a tea snob.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like small farm organic coffee, and I like South American coffee better than Ethiopian coffee.
So how much do you normally spend on a cup of coffee?
I grind my own. I spend about $20 on a bag that lasts me less than a week.
Okay, so when you splurge and you go out to a place like a Starbucks or a Dutch Brothers, again, these are trademarked. I'm not getting paid for them, so they're getting a free plug. How much do you normally spend when you go in there?
About $6 probably.
So $6 cup of coffee. Those $6 can make a huge difference for a veteran.
That's right.
So we really do need your help with this. GiveButter.com/vets in need. These donations and these contributions you guys are making are going to a great cause. Like I said, People for Any America, and also for vets in need. What we do with those funds is that we end up getting gift cards for veterans, homeless veterans, that, for them to go get groceries, go get pair of shoes, go get clothing, whatever it is they need. They're able to do that with those gift cards, and it's with your help that you're able to provide these things for these veterans that are out there. And again, it's not just the gift cards, and also you have to remember that it's not just the veteran, right? We're also helping the family, because the veteran is the one that comes back and has all this stuff, but let's not forget about the families. The families are also involved, and a lot of times the family may suffer even worse, because the veteran has committed the ultimate the ultimate sacrifice, or B, has done the unthinkable, and they leave a wake behind that they don't want to deal, because they think that if they leave this earth, or if they leave and not be around, their problems are gone. But then they create a whole wake of problems on the other side when we don't think about that. So is that a selfish act? It's not. But with those contributions, we're able to help those people and these veterans, because we are able to provide People for New Americas and Veterans First Initiative is able to provide mental health, and training to be able to train ourselves to do other jobs. Like I was mentioning, I did an interview with another organization called PromisingPeople.com, and they're out of Florida. So Joanna, I'm going to hook you up with them, because this is a very, very good thing that they do. Their training is revolutionary, innovative, to say the least. They take VR glasses. You ever seen those VR glasses that you come and take over and you can play whatever. All of their training is no longer. It's not your basic training when you go to a school and you sit in a classroom. Eric and I can tell you, death by PowerPoint. It's the worst. So they're able to do this with VR glasses, and they're able to be more interactive, and that type of training. I think I believe they said that you retain 88% more of the material, rather than sitting in a classroom, because in the classroom you're like, okay, it's 3:00 and it's 5:00 somewhere, so it's beer time, beer 30. So they're able to do it at the leisure of their own time, and it's such a great thing. And they're able to provide these things for the veteran because of what they believe. So a lot of times, though, that program will not cost anything to the veteran, simply because they're able to get grants from the government, grants from other things. So the cost will be almost zero to almost zero to nothing. So I know that's a cliche, but it's zero to nothing, and they will probably not have to end up paying anything. But it's a great thing. So that is what your contributions will help. And Joanna, well, first of all, hold on. I'm going to give you more time. So 1 second. Darlene, any closing remarks?
So just that it's such an honor to be here with Joanna, with you, Caesar, and it's nice to meet you, Eric, and I hope to see you again. To just ramp up the enthusiasm for this Saturday, it's going to be very exciting.
Yes. Eric, closing remarks.
Hey, everything happens for a reason. I'm so glad to be here. Thank y'all.
And last but not least, the one and the only Joanna Hairabedian. I need her to close the show with the blessing that she was going to give for us. Because, ma'am, I told you earlier that I was very, very humbled that you completely changed your entire thing, and you gave me more than 2 hours that I had originally told you. And I'm so thankful that you gave me a third hour, because I felt that our conversation was just way too in depth, and we needed that. I needed that. I didn't realize that I needed it. I didn't realize that I needed this conversation because of the struggles. I mean, you guys saw it live where I was having an issue with the storm that was going through, and you saw it, and you gave me a gift of another hour of your time, and to me that just speaks leaps and bounds of the person that you are in the platform that you have. So guys, don't take this wrong, but I want her to give us this blessing, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna remove the rest of us, for her to have this space, for her to actually give us the blessing, and to not only to the show, but also to the ones that are needed at this point. So, Joanna, please give us your blessing, and let us know what it is and why you're here. So, please.
Okay, well, thank you, Caesar. So here's what I'm going to do that I do best, which is release heaven on earth. We are all vessels of the King of Heaven. And the blessing that I'm going to sing over you is in Hebrew. And it means, blessed is the Lord our God, King of the universe. Blessed is his holy name. Adonai loves you, and he's healing your land. And after I sing the blessing, I'm gonna speak healing over you. I'm gonna pray for you, because I believe that tonight is a night where a light's gonna hit that darkness, where there's gonna be a healing touch from heaven that's just gonna touch you and impact you. And that can be in a dream, it can be in something, but I know it's gonna be something. So, Heavenly Father, I thank you for this show. I bless this station. I bless Caesar and all of the work of his hands. I bless every single person who's watching and listening. I bless you. And I just release this blessing in Hebrew. And I thank you, Lord, for touching every single one. You who are listening, you who are watching, God's got you. And he knows the pain you've had. He knows the struggles that you carry. And Jesus came to make your burdens light. And so I just sing over you right now. And I just pray for God's presence to just touch you and heal you and fill you afresh and anew, and maybe in a way that you've never experienced before. Baruch Hashem Adonai Eloheinu le'olam. Baruch Hashem Adonai Eloheinu le'olam. Ani ohev otach. Ani ohev otach. I love you so, says the Lord, and I'm healing your land. I'm healing your mind. I'm healing your body. Amen. So I just pray right now, I break off every darkness that's come against you in the name of Jesus. I break off night torments that has been harassing you in your sleep. And I speak sleep to you now. I speak healing to you now. I speak rest to your soul in the name of Jesus. I release the light of heaven to just fill you right now where you're at, and fill your family. And for the love of God to just touch you like never before. And if you've never known that person, the one that I saw when I was in heaven, I saw him and I felt his love, and his name is Jesus. If you've never felt him or experienced him, invite him into your heart tonight. Just say, come into my heart. I give you my heart. I need your healing. Forgive me my sins. Take away this darkness. I want to know you. It's that simple. And so I just bless you. I bless the work of your hands. I bless your family. And I release the angels of heaven to surround your house, to surround your children, to surround your spouse, to surround you and your work in the name of Jesus. And I just release his light and his love to fill you and touch you and heal you. I thank you, Lord, for your son and your daughter who's amazing. And I want to speak to you. There is hope. There is hope. Never, ever, ever give up, because you have been put here for a purpose. You have been put here for it by design. And there is someone who needs to hear what you have to say. There is someone who needs what you have, whether it's a laugh, a smile, a joke, your job, whatever you're doing, a word. You see, words create worlds. And I just release the light of heaven into your world now. And I just thank you, Lord, for your amazing child who's walked through a lot, who's been through really hard things. But you know those things, Lord, because you took those stripes. And by his stripes, you are healed. By his stripes, you are forgiven. By his stripes, you are blood washed. And you are made fresh. You are born again. And all the past is healed. And I just release over you today that you are loved, you are honored, you are cherished, you are valued, and you are needed, and you are appreciated. And it is an honor to pray for you and bless you today in the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. Amen.
So thank you so much for doing that for us. And I'm again, we are, I believe all of us are huge believers of things happen for a reason, and definitely if you needed that, you've got that. And so thank you, Joanna, for joining the Battle Rhythm podcast tonight, making dreams come true. For many of us, you know, I told you earlier, I was when Darlene told me, it's like, oh, you got to call her. I was like, okay, I'll call her. I was very starstruck. I was like, I called Eric on my way home. I was like, dude, you have to get on today. You have to watch it tonight. And he's like, why? I'm like, just do it. He says, okay.
Well, you know what? We're part of the same team, and teamwork makes the dream work. And together we are all better. That's how I see it. It's not little me's, big U's. It's we are one together. We are one accord, one achad, as they say in Hebrew. Mm-hmm. And together we make a difference.
Yes. So, I don't think I have anything further to say other than we've already gone 3 hours and 5 minutes. And held strong at 58,000 listeners. So if you needed that tonight, we hope that you received that blessing that Joanna has released onto us. So thank you, Joanna, for what you do and utilizing your platform to give many the gift of self-awareness, if anything. You know, with the things that you do for the little girls, and that's super awesome. And I'm pretty sure that Darlene's gonna get her crown too at some point.
Oh, she will.
And Eric, you have no hope, my friend.
United. Eric is united. We're gonna knight you too, Caesar.
That's right. Nice.
So the next challenge for you, Joanna, I know that when you come to Oklahoma, you are very close to where I live. I live right down the river, and I mean the Red River. I'm right across the Red River. I am in Texoma. I am close to the Oklahoma border. So you're ever here in the area, you are very, very close to where I'm at. And I would invite you to come to my studio to do a live show where we can do all this. And the next time I have you on the show, we'll go over your book that we mentioned earlier today, and the only way that Eric is going to come back on the show when it is he's going to bring his wife so we can actually heal their marriage, because Eric, your wife has told me you need lots of help.
We all do.
We all do. We all do. Absolutely.
I know. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an absolute honor for me to have you guys today and for you guys to be listening to me. I want to thank Darlene for jumping on in the last minute. Thank you so much for making the time for us. I know it's late for you guys. It's midnight. Actually, it's tomorrow for you guys. So thank you for that. Eric, I will see you in a couple of days, actually, in about 24 hours.
Yes,
I
sir.
will see you. And I look forward to that because you and I have not seen one another in about a year.
That's bad.
So
Yeah.
yeah. I'm looking forward to your fellowship and things like that. So, Joanna, again, you're a friend of the shows. Anytime you want to come in and have um, some guided fun, I guess you could say. You are more than welcome to come, and I do hope that you would take that into consideration and actually come back to us and have some fun. Some unscripted fun. Because I have to tell you, full disclosure, and Eric knows this. I never ever prepare for a show. The very least I do is I get the name, the title, and maybe a little bit of the information, but I never prepare for a show, meaning that I don't have any outline. I don't have questions. I do nothing. I let the conversation lead where we're at, and I think for me that works because it just it 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 takes away uh from the organized media, I guess you could say, because it's all like one way to do it. They're so structured about how it is. I don't think you get the full picture of the person that you're speaking to. If you have those type of questions, if you aren't scripted, I think you get a little bit more of a uh, genuine response of what it is. It's not like the talking points. Do I have talking points in my mind? I do. Do I hit them? Rarely. Other than your name is and why you're here and what is your why. I think those are the only really things. So, with that said, thank you guys so much for joining tonight at the Battle Rhythm podcast. We have been live for the last 3 hours, and thank you so much to all of my guests tonight, Joanna, Darlene, and Eric, and each one of you guys. I hope that the rest of your week goes as planned. If not, then we will do another live tomorrow. So whoever is up for it, we can do it tomorrow. Because we are in full swing right now of promoting our telethon this Saturday, June 7th, at starting at noon Eastern. We are going to have a ton of stuff, very, very many musical acts, employment programs, a lot of different giveaways. I know our poster here is super, super busy, but the one thing you have to remember, this is all about the veterans. And with your contributions, you were able to help us do a lot of employment programs. And the biggest thing that we can take away with this is that we can actually help a lot of different veterans with gift cards, especially the ones that are really, really in need for them to actually be to have food, clothing, and then I forgot to mention that a lot of times they will actually always will help pay an electric bill, a phone bill, a car note, whatever it is. Those are other things that I can actually do. And then I love the fact that I'm involved in this organization because it gives back to so many that it is. So please join in. It will be live on Voice of the People USA Radio and TV Network, also on BC Digital, on Patriot Radio, and also Connect Your City. Connect to Your City. They're going to also be playing that, and also the Disability Channel out of our 51st state up in Canada. Through Jay Stoyan. He will be heading our Toronto live feed out there. And please go into vetsinneed.org, vetsinneed.org. Please givebutter.com/vetsinneed. That is where you can donate. And yes, somebody mentioned earlier that this is not a you can give daily, you can give monthly, whatever it is. That will always be there. So yes, we will always use these funds that we fundraise to give back throughout the year. This is just our biggest way of actually collecting funds so we can actually have these bigger better things. So next year when we do this again, we feel that it's gonna grow a lot more, and we're gonna have a lot more people and a lot more acts. And Joanna, I hope that you are gonna come and do it live, because I'm gonna have you sign a contract.
We'll chat.
Yeah, I will chat. Every time he says, "Oh, we'll chat," I don't know. I see. Have your lawyer call my lawyer, and your lawyer call my lawyer, and so we'll go on and so forth, right? But anyways, Joanna, thank you so much. I know it took you already 3 hours and 15 minutes of your time. Eric, love you, dude. Darlene, I sent you a thing. Says I adore you. So thank you so much. And to my newest publicist, Darlene. So thank you very much. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Caesar Science. I am the host of the Battle Rhythm Podcast. You have been listening to us live here on X Spaces, where we were 58,000 strong. And with that, I bid you adieu. I will see you guys next week. Oh, before I forgot to tell you guys that a few weeks ago, I had a very, very important guest that shared their story. I will have a huge update in 2 weeks. And with that, I will leave you. Next week, I will have a rescheduled guest that I actually had for this week. He will be here next week. It's a therapist, so we will talk about our feelings, especially for those. He's a combat, he's a Marine. He has his own therapy company, or not company, but organization. So he's going to help us with that. And so I encourage you guys to tune in. And then the week after that is when I will make that huge announcement on an update on one of my past guests. That's all I'm going to give you. That is the teaser. So make sure you guys tune in for that one. So with that, I am Caesar with the Battle Rhythm Podcast. You have been listening to the podcast tonight. Brought to you by Texoma Harley Davidson here in Sherman, Texas. Also by Scott's Construction out of Alabama, and EGA Construction, and also Black Sheep Lounge. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot to do Black Sheep Lounge here in Denison. They are one of my biggest sponsors, one of my biggest friends, Nick and Ashlyn. I apologize. I got so caught up in our conversation with Joanna and Darlene and Eric that I failed to do so, and I am so sorry that I completely forgot. With that said, I owe them a huge apology, so I just did that. I'm sorry, Ashlyn and Nick. I apologize. I feel so bad. Guys, I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Guys, I love you all. Please, after this, then for 2 more minutes, I promise I won't take any more of your time. Everybody else, thank you so much. We'll see you next week, and I hope you guys have a blessed day, blessed week. Thank you for watching. As we wrap up today's show, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. Your support and engagement means the world to us, and we hope you found today's content insightful and entertaining. This episode, along with all previous shows, is available on all major media platforms. Whether you prefer to listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watch YouTube, we got you covered. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review to help us reach more listeners just like you. We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Connect with us on social media, where you can join us in our conversation and stay updated on the latest news and episodes. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you once again for being part of the Voice of the People, USA Radio, and TV Network. We look forward to bringing you more exciting content in our upcoming episodes. Until next time, take care.